Hey guys, welcome to Green Bean Fiction. So in today's video we are gonna see, what if Deku reincarnated as the Emerald Devil? Part 1. This story is The Emerald Devil of Mato by PixelSpectraVT. Before starting, make sure to hit that like button, as your one like motivates me to bring more stories, and subscribe the channel if you are new so you won't miss our latest videos. Dark clouds cover over all of Japan. The sound of explosions can be heard. Looking in the direction of sound we see Mount Fuji. Two very powerful beings are fighting over the fate of society and humanity. A clash between man-made gods. Izuku Midoriya aka Deku, the symbol of hope and peace, icon of justice and history's craziest mortal. vs. AFO Shigaraki, the symbol of fear and destruction, icon of chaos and humanity's sin in human form. This fight was so important, so groundbreaking, so unpredictable, that not only was the whole world watching it, but a being beyond divinity was intrigued. Pav. Deku, my body is beyond broken, all of my bones are shattered, and the toll from gearshift is already taking its effects. But I have stopped you, no matter what happens to me. AFO Shigaraki, looking at you now, I would never guess you were a hero. Charges at Deku. Deku charges back, readying a fist with the last bit of energy he has. Deku. Sorry everyone, this shall be my final. Deku. World Breaker. Smash. AFO Shigaraki. Hell devastater. Pav. The explosion and the impact force from the colliding punches was so earth-shaking, that a certain being who transcended beyond divinity and godhood, saw how our green-haired protagonist give his life to save his home. He took pity on how the boy was never afraid of dying to someone who was beyond saving. He decided to give this boy a second chance at life. In a new dimension. Deku Pav. All I remember after that was darkness, then a purple light appeared and I was in a savanna forest. I looked up to the sky and saw tons of large colorful planets and millions of shimmering stars in a purple sky. So, you finally awake. Quote, I turned around to see someone in a black suit sitting on a throne. Deku. Who are you? Where am I? You are in the center of the multiverse. Those who possess the pure heart of a hero and the bravery to challenge death arrive here when they had died a worthy death, my domain. Quote, Deku. He stood there speechless still to the unnamed man. As for who I am the one who offer choices to does that enter her. I am the one who decides whether they are worthy. I am King T'Challa. The Black Panther. T'Challa. Nice to meet you, Izuku Midoriya. Quote, T'Challa. I am glad to see you are taking this so well. Izuku. It's a lot to process. I mean, I'm dead. Why am here if I'm dead? T'Challa. Because, Izuku Midoriya, you have been chosen for your selfless and noble sacrifice, because in my culture, death is not the end. I am giving you a choice. Go to heaven and live a boring life of an angel, or have a fresh start in a new world. Which will you choose? Izuku. Option 2. T'Challa. Excellent. Now here's your background. You were adopted by a family known as the Wakuras. You have two step-siblings, a sister the same age as you named Aoba and a younger brother named Yuki. You will also have one for all, but the past users will not be with you. Deku. Thank you T'Challa. I will not forget this. Quote, T'Challa. Actually you will. When you close your eyes you will retain all your memories, your fighting techniques and your stats from your world, but you will not remember me, because what happens during reincarnation is more of a fever dream that you'll forget instantly. Deku starts to feel tired and is about to close his eyes. Izuku. Wah. T'Challa. Good luck kid, may the Panther Goddess Bise guide you. Pav. Yuki Wakura, year 2020. At Kaminoj Public High School. Random male teacher. Get this finished before the bell rings. Yuki. Sheesh. Every damn morning it's work, work, work. Random male student 1. Yeah, but we have you to thank for that. Random male student 2. Yeah, you make our job easier. Izuku. You guys are just lazy because you know Yuki is a neat freak. Says while doing handstand push-ups between two tables. Random male student 2. Speaking of tardiness, here comes the girls, fashionably late, as usual. The view cuts to a bunch of school girls showing of their peach abilities as they walk. Random male student 1. Guys are unable to obtain abilities from the peaches. Yuki. From the moment we were born, a male's life is instantly set to hard mode. Izuku. I wonder how society would react if the quirk factor and the Mato peaches were discovered at the time. Yuki sad face sees something to the right. A boy and girl walking in together holding hands smiling. Yuki. Since when did those two become a couple? Random male student 2. Oh that. Random male student 1. Apparently, he asked her out by saying, thanks to you, I won the soccer tournament. Please go out with me. To where she said yes. Yuki. Damn it, I knew athletic guys get girls, I'm so jealous. Izuku. He seems pretty happy and she looks genuinely happy as well. Looks like he got one of the lucky ones. Good for him. Starts remembering Ochako, Melissa and May. Yeah, real lucky. Single quote. Yuki sad face sees Izuku feeling down. Yo, earth to Izuku Wakura. Izuku. Yuki. You okay? Izuku. Yeah, also Yuki I'm not going to be with at the train station. I got another job interview after school. Yuki. Another one, that's the 5th one this week. How do you keep getting scouted for job interviews? Are you doing something shady? Izuku. What, no. I guess I'm just lucky. Yuki. Okay, I'll see you at home then. Izuku. Yeah, after school. We're moved to Deku in an alleyway. Izuku's sad face looks around making sure he wasn't followed. Alright, time for a quick patrol before heading back. Deku takes off his clothes revealing his vigilante suit underneath. Imagine it dark emerald with his vigilante cowl from the manga and black whip tendrils out of his back. Yuki. Random male student. I'm not looking forward to entering the workforce, commuter trains suck for guys. Yuki sad face points to his classmate's coat. Hey, your button's loose. Yuki grabs a sewing kit from his pocket. Yuki. Let me fix that. Okay. Random male student. Wow, dude where did you learn to sew like that? Yuki. My older sister taught me and tried to make Izuku follow as well. She said since guys can't get powers might as well polish up on our given skills. She tried to make Izuku do the same, but he always say he's busy with something. Yuki. And unlike him where he gets off scot-free every time he didn't follow Aoba's orders, I get punished every time I didn't do the chores right. Yuki has a flashback to Aoba putting him in a chokehold while Izuku calmed her down instantly letting Yuki go as her face becomes a flustered blushing mess. Random male student. Wait, but wasn't your sister in a Mato mishap? Yuki. Has a flashback to him witnessing his sister disappear right in front and how Izuku reacted to the news. TIMESKIP. Yuki. Ever since Aoba vanished, Izuku has been coming home later than usual, and with some bruises. I've tried to ask what happened but he keeps avoiding the subject. I hope he's okay. Unnoticed by Yuki, a purple mist began to form around him. Yuki. It's sure as foggy. I can't see anything in front of me. The fog clears to reveal an entirely different environment with sharp pointed hills and a dark sky with 2 moons. Yuki. Why you got to be? Don't tell me I'm in. Yuki. Mato. Indeed the very place where the peaches originate from, Mato. Yuki. Okay, gotta calm down. My phone should have a manual about this. You have been involved in a Mato mishap. Yuki. That's right, Aoba was caught in a Mato mishap. That means she must be here. If this has happened refrain from any exertion and wait until the Demon Defense Force arrives. Yuki. I'm staying right here. A large monster emerges from the ground, towering Yuki. These are the SHUUKI. 30 minutes before Mato mishap. We see tons of dead Shukis in piles as a figure stands on top looking around for something or someone. Izuku. No luck today either. I know you're alive Aoba, I'll find you and bring you home. He was about to head back through a gate until he heard screaming that would be recognized easily. He used 45% full cowl and rushes towards the screaming. Hoping he can get there in time. Yuki Pav. We see Yuki running for his life as a horde of Shuki chases him. Yuki. I always hated my idol, boring life but I don't want Mato to be the place I die. I'm sorry Izuku, but I won't be at home anymore. As the SHUUKI was about to kill Yuki, another Shuki with something on top charges killing the first SHUUKI. Yuki. A person. On a Shuuki. The mounted Shuki jumps over Yuki, blocking the horde. To get attacked right away like this. You must have shitty luck. Stay behind me. Time to submit. The woman the Shuki charged while swing her sword around, cutting down everything in its path with ease. Until a Shuuki destroyed the one she on, she cut him down instantly. Closing parenthesis. Damn, that was a weakling after all. You have been a victim of a Mato mishap. She turns to Yuki saying this. I am Kyoka Uzen, the 7th Squad's commander of the Demon Defense Force. Quote, Kyoka. Don't worry, I'll keep you safe. Just then an army of Shuki surrounded them. Kyoka pulls out a seal and stabs it in the ground with her sword, create a force field. Yuki. Whoa, Kyoka. Don't worry, I erected a simple barrier. Yuki. But it looks like it won't hold for long. Kyoka. It'd be one thing if it was just me, but... The Peach's ability. I have to admit I got unlucky with power. Screw that, I swear, I will become Supreme Commander. Kyoka, sad face, looks at Yuki. I've never tried using my powers on a man before, thought it wouldn't be worth it. But I have no choice. What's your name, boy? Yuki. Yuki Wakura, ma'am. Kyoka. Yuki, there's a way out of here, but I'll need your full cooperation. Yuki. If it means I can help, sure. Kyoka. Well said, because starting right now, you will be my slave. Yuki. Huh, Kyoka. My power draws out the strength of anyone I enslave and puts it to use. If you're physically enhanced, we can survive this place and escape. Yuki. You mean I can fight these things? Kyoka. Yes. Now. Holds out her hand. It's time to submit. Deku's paw. Izuku, sad face, moving as fast as he can without drawing attention. He sees a bright flashing light and towards to see someone on top of a weird-looking Shuki with chains. Yuki. Wooooooooah. Kyoka. This is Izuku. Yuki. Kyoka turns her head towards Deku, or as they know him as Mato's Emerald Devil. She holds her sword toward him. Kyoka. Why are you? Izuku. What did you do to my brother? Kyoka, sad face, shocked. The bright flashing light stops, revealing Yuki's new form. Eternal chains. Slave. Kyoka. Magnificent. I had no idea you be this strong. Izuku. Yuki, is that you? Yuki, sad face, turns towards him. Izuku. Izuku. What did you do? Facing Kyoka, looking at her in the eyes. Kyoka. I used my ability on him, but how do you know each other, and why are you here? Just then another horde of Shuki rose out of the ground. The trio got into fighting stance with Kyoka on Yuki in his slave form and Deku using one for all with green lightning surrounding his body. Izuku. We'll talk later, now kill every Shuki in sight. He charges towards the horde, instantly killing Shuki left and right with one hit. Kyoka. I have so many questions but that have to wait. Now, show me your strength, Yuki. Yuki, slave, Uwooooooah, as he slices one Shuki with his claws. Yuki, slave, cuts through the Shuki horde, killing everything, and responds to Kyoka's commands as gives them. They see a giant Shuki rushing towards them. Kyoka. Cut him down, you. But before could she even finish her command, the Shuuki was already killed. Standing on top of the giant corpse was Deku, and to Kyoka and Yuki's surprise he barely seemed tired. Izuku. Yuki, are you okay? Yuki, slave, yeah, but how did you do that and why are you here? The two kept bickering with each other before Kyoka broke them apart by drawing her sword, pointing it towards Deku. Kyoka. Stand down and submit, Emerald Devil. Yuki, slave, Miss Kyoka, what are you doing? Izuku. First tell what you did to my brother. Quote, Kyoka. Brother. Yuki, slave, he's my brother, but wait, how were you able to kill the Shuki so quickly? Izuku. It's a long story, but can you please turn my brother back to normal? Kyoka. Of course. The flash of light appeared and when it was gone Yuki was back to normal. Kyoka. I'm impressed, I didn't think you would have so much power. Turns towards Deku. I still have questions about you, but first. Izuku and Yuki. Kyoka gently grabs Yuki's chin and kissed him on the lips, shocking both the boys. Kyoka. So that's what you want, you pervert. Yuki. Izuku. You're the one who kissed him, how is he the pervert? Kyoka. It's the price of my ability. Izuku. Huh, Kyoka. As his master, I'm obligated to give my slave an appropriate reward for the amount of work done. Yuki. Reward. A kiss is a reward. Izuku. Wow, just wow. Kyoka. You worked very hard, shall I give another one? Yuki. No, you don't have to, I was the one who was saved so. He says until he knock off her hat revealing her flushed face. Kyoka. I didn't know this would happen, when take Shuki as slaves, I only had to give them raw meat. Yuki. What do you mean? Kyoka. My body is moving regardless of my will. Izuku takes off his mask and deactivates one for all. Izuku. She has no control of her power's downside. 5 minutes later. Yuki. My first kiss, I never thought it happened in Mato. Izuku. If you're done with your little makeout, I think it's time for some answers. Kyoka. Indeed, firstly, how do you have peach abilities? Men can't get powers. Quote. Yuki. I like to know too, I mean how long did you have them for? Does Aoba know? Why didn't you tell me? Izuku's sad face sighs, it's a long story. Izuku processed to say how his previous family were mad scientists working on how to give men peach abilities and how when an experiment went fatally wrong saying he was the only survivor. All a lie, obviously, how one was the ability to enter and exit Mato freely, this replaces float, comment an original name for it which they believed for now. Closing parenthesis. Izuku. Now I have a question, since you made Yuki your slave does that mean he has to stay here in Mato? Kyoka. These Shuki. If one of them were to enter the human world, the death toll would be in the dozens. Yuki. They're in the news sometimes. Quote. Izuku. A Mato mishap. Aoba. Kyoka. My goal is to become Supreme Commander of the Demon Defense Force, and wipe all the Shuki as soon as possible, since our current leader is too lenient, but with you, Yuki, I might have a shot at it. Yuki. It's not like I'm exceptionally good at school or sports. Unlike Izuku here, all I'm confident in is doing housework. Kyoka. If you can do chores, all the better. She says with enthusiasm. Izuku. Hold on for one moment, Yuki a word. Izuku and Yuki move to a different spot away so Kyoka can't eavesdrop. Closing parenthesis. Izuku. You release how risky this is right. Mato is not for faint of heart, if a Shuki or something stronger kills you. I don't know what I'd do. I made a promise to Aoba to keep you safe. Yuki. And I made a vow to find Aoba and bring her home. I know you had a good reason to hide the fact that you had powers, but you're not the only who misses her. This shocked Izuku. Yuki looked serious, he was glad the Wakuras adopted him, Yuki wanted to repay Izuku. Izuku just sighed, knowing he can't change Yuki's mind. Kyoka. Excuse me, I'm waiting for your answer. They both turned to Kyoka. Closing parenthesis. Yuki. I want to become a hero here. Izuku. And I'm staying too. I have my own conditions of course but we'll talk about those later. Quote. Kyoka. We have a deal then. Smirks. Yuki. Even if I were to get a job in the human world, I'd always have rigid days of mediocrity. Here I can slay Shuki and be a hero, and with Izuku here there's no doubt we can find Aoba. While Yuki was in his own world, Izuku was wondering whether he can trust Kyoka or not. Given how in his previous life he was betrayed by Aoyama, he decided to go with the flow for now. Sometime later, at the Demon Defense Force 7th Squad's dormitory. Izuku. Looks like an inn. Yuki. Yeah. Quote. Kyoka. It was built according to Mato's yin-yang principles and has a powerful barrier over it. Before she comes get inside. Izuku. Miss Uzen, can I talk to you for a minute? Kyoka. Sure Yuki wait by the door, we'll be there soon. Yuki. Okay, walks towards the door. Kyoka. So what is it you want Emerald Devil or do you prefer Izuku? She says while staring at him with murderous eyes trying to scare him which failed as he looked unfazed. Izuku. Look, I know you and the other squad commanders were ordered to capture me, plus I still have my conditions to relay, so I have a proposal. Kyoka's sad face, intrigued, go on. Izuku. I know males can't be defense force officers and you need Yuki for your ability. But as the adopted older brother it's my job to keep him safe. I'm not as good as Yuki when it comes to chores but I can cook so here's my offer. I will be in charge of the kitchen in terms of meals. When comes to Shuki, I will help you out by cutting them down, and when the another commander meeting is called and they ask for me, I will answer some of their questions, but all of them, and in terms of training I can assist with hand-to-hand combat, battle strategy and power advancement, as long you agree to not to inform the commanders of me yet, and allow me to do my night patrols in the human realm. But most of all, you must keep Yuki safe at all cost. I don't want him getting hurt physically, emotionally or psychological. Deal. Kyoka was stunned to say the least. But after taking a good look at his figure, she had to admit that despite having the audacity to give advice in training, he looked like he has experience, and that he actually looks kinda hot without his mask on. She shook her head at that last part, regaining her composure. She had reached her decision. Kyoka. Deal. And don't worry, as his master and captain, it's my job to make sure no one is harmed by the Shuki. You have my word. Izuku's sad face smiles. Okay, let's head inside before Yuki does something stupid. Meanwhile with Yuki. Yuki. My new workplace, I get to become a member of the Demon Defense Force. Kyoka. Ready to go in. Yuki. Yes. Izuku. Lead the way. They walk to the door, opening it to see 3 girls waiting for them. The one with dark bluish hair leaning against the wall was named Himari Azuma, the energetic blonde in the middle was named Shushu Saruga, and the small adorable pink-haired bean that would make Eri her rival in terms of cuteness was named Nei Okawamura. Himari. Geez, it really is 2 guys. She looks at Izuku and has a slight unnoticeable blush on her face. He's hot. Wait, what am I thinking? Shushu. I went to an all-girls school, so I'm looking forward to getting a look at a boy up close. Nay. Nice to meet you, Mr. Caretakers. Kyoka. These are the squad members who live here. Yuki. Huh, Kyoka. There are others, but they're busy at the moment. Yuki. What does she mean by caretakers? Pointing at Nei. Izuku. You idiot, guys can't become defense force members. Yuki. What? Kyoka. He's right. During a battle you'll be my slave, but usually you two will be here as the caretakers. Yuki. What? Kyoka. These girls are professionals at what they do, but they're all a bit difficult. Between them and the presence of Shuki, we haven't been able to hold on to any caretakers. Yuki. Bu. Izuku. Shut up, she's not done explaining. Kyoka. Thank you, Izuku. Now, as I was saying, girls meet Yuki and Izuku Wakura. While Yuki will be the one who will handle the chores, Izuku here will be in charge of the kitchen, hand-to-hand combat training and enhancing Peach abilities. Himari, Shushu, and Nei were shocked to hear that their commander would allow a guy to join in training. Yuki wasn't surprised by that, considering how he and Aoba saw Izuku practicing different kinds of martial arts when they were young, or the fact that he was in charge of cooking. What did surprise him was the enhanced Peach ability training. Himari. Commander, with all due respect, why should we have a guy assist us in combat training? And if he's not a part of your ability, how can fight the Shuki? Izuku. You'll see when another Mato mishap happens. As for the hand-to-hand training, charges one for all enough to only make his green eyes glow furiously. You'll find out tomorrow. Grins with pride. Nei walks up to Yuki and Izuku, grabbing both their hands while smiling and being smile. Nei joined the 7th squad just before you, so I will support you both as your superior, so rest easy you two. Izuku. Thanks Nei. Yuki. Wait, how old are you? Nei is 11 years old. Yuki. An elementary school girl's my superior. Izuku. So they also let elementary school girls into the defense force. Do they not care about the dangers of that logic? Himari. Nei is your superior, so you better not disobey her. She says while pointing at both the boys. Yuki. Eep. Izuku. No need to be dictator. I already have Yuki loud voice to worry about. I don't need another one. Himari. Why you? Before she could say anything else, Izuku said this. Izuku. Tomorrow at combat training you and I can settle it there with the conditions of no using Peach abilities and no weapons. If I win you have treat us a bit nicer, and if you win, I'm yours to do as you please. Izuku gives a cocky yet sexy wink to Himari, catching her off guard. Himari's sad face flustered. Wah, coughs. Deal. Tomorrow I'll put you in your place. She walks back to Kyoka and the others with her face still flushed. Awkward silence. Kyoka's sad face breaking the silence anyways. Yuki. Izuku. Kyoka holds out her hand while Shushu and Nei are standing on opposite sides of her, and Himari, with her face still blushing from what Izuku said, standing behind Kyoka while looking back. Kyoka. Welcome to Mato's elite 7th squad. It's a new day in Mato at the 7th squad's dormitory. We see Yuki admiring his work. Yuki. There, look at that shine. Izuku. Glad to see you in high spirits. Yuki turns around to see Izuku return from his morning training, aka killing Shuuki. He was wearing a tank top and training shorts covered in sweat as he entered the barrier. Closing parenthesis. Yuki. Hey bro, how was your training? Izuku. It's more of a warm-up but good. You're admiring your work again. Yuki. Yep, nothing beats a job well done. Izuku. Yuki's sad face looks around, although due to the location, it doesn't feel clean. Just then a Shuki popped out of the ground and running towards the boys, hitting the barrier before being destroyed. Izuku, who was closest to the barrier, remained unfazed while Yuki jumped back from the site. Yuki. They appear this close to the dorms. Izuku. We're in Mato, obviously Shuki will appear here too. Nei. Are you okay, Mr. Caretakers? Nei runs toward Izuku and Yuki. Closing parenthesis. Yuki. Only because of the barrier. Izuku. Quit being a baby. Yeah, we're fine, Nei. Yuki. Why did it appear so close to the dorms? Nei. Well, the 7th squad is situated the unlucky reverse ogre gate direction of Mato. That's why lots of monsters show up here. Yuki's sad face confused. Reverse ogre gate. Izuku. In this dimension, Mato's is the same size as Tokyo, if not bigger, that are split into 8 sectors. Each squad is assigned their very own gate. Yuki. Oh, okay. Nei was shocked on how Izuku knew this information. Not even the public knows, only Defense Force members. Nei. Mr. Izuku. Izuku. Yes, and Izuku is just fine, by the way. Nei. Right, so, how did you know that information? Izuku. Crap. I need to think of something, fast. I might have overheard Kyoka and Himari talking about it. Hee. Scratches the back of his head. Nei. Nei cutely pouts. It's not very nice to spy on people, Mr. Izuku. Izuku. Hee. I'm sorry, Nei, it wasn't intentional. She's too adorable. Nei's sad face smiles. It's okay. As your superior, I forgive you. I know you meant no harm. Cutely smiles. Izuku. Her smile, it's just like Eri's when she first smiled. Starts remembering all the time he spent with Eri. Has a dim sad expression. Yuki's sad face noticed. Yo, Izuku, you okay? Izuku. Oh yeah, I'm good. Himari. What are you two yapping about? Yuki and Izuku Wakura. They look towards the door to see Himari, who just returned. Closing parenthesis. Himari. If you're done yapping, the training ground is ready. Looks at Izuku and says, I will put you in your place, slave. She says with an arrogant and determined tone. Izuku smirks. Izuku. We shall see. Walks past Himari while he whispered something to her. Izuku. You must really want me that badly if you came all this way here to inform me. This caught Himari off guard, causing her to blush, but she regained her composure. Himari. I'll make you pay for your insubordination towards a vice caption. Himari and Izuku walked towards an open area in the dorm, the training ground. When they entered, Kyoka stood in the center of the ground while Shushu, Nei and Yuki were on the balcony above them. Izuku and Himari stood at opposite end of the square rings, battle ready. Kyoka. Today's combat battle is between Izuku Wakura and Himari Azuma. Here are the conditions. No powers and no weapons are allowed to be used in this fight. Winner will be declared if their opponent is knocked out or admits defeat. All agree. Izuku. Yes. Himari. Affirmative. With Yuki, Nei and Shushu. Nei. Who do you think is going to win? Standing on a stepping stool. Shushu. It's obviously Himari. Despite Broccoli Hair having a very hot body, Himari was trained by the commander herself, so yeah, Broccoli Hair gonna lose. She says confidently. Yuki. I wouldn't be too sure about that. Nei and Shushu look at Yuki. Nei. Why is that, Mr. Caretaker? Yuki. Because despite the fact he doesn't look it, Izuku is a martial arts master, having mastered 27 different types already. Nei and Shushu were shocked hearing this and started to wonder if Himari is going win. On the combat ground. Kyoka. All right combatants, take position. Quote. Himari stood battle ready in her stance. Izuku firstly took his tank top off because of the sweat and took his battle stance, the same stance Mirko always used, which shocked Kyoka. Kyoka. How does he know that stance? Did she train him or something? Kyoka, sad face, shook her head. Combatants, ready. Izuku, Himari. Ready. Kyoka. Begin. And just like that the battle began. Himari and Izuku charged towards each other. Himari tries to punch Izuku in the gut only for him to dodge it easily. She then throws an uppercut which Izuku dodged again easily. Izuku throws a midsection jab at Himari which connected while also swinging a right hook at Himari, which she barely blocks, but due to the sheer force of that hook, Izuku pushes Himari backwards. She starts to breathe heavier and feels a little pain in her arms while clutching her midsection. Himari. What the hell was that attack? I'm used to blocking strong attacks from the commander before due to her physical strength, but him. Looks at Izuku. How the hell is he this strong? Izuku. What's wrong? Don't tell me you're already getting tired now. I just hit you once and you already about to call it quits. He said in a mocking tone. Himari's sad face, enraged. Don't mock me, boy. She runs at him readying a punch, only for it to land and do nothing, shocking everyone including Kyoka. Kyoka, shushu, nay. What, how? Just who are you, Izuku, broccoli hair, Mr. Caretaker? They all heard a chuckle coming from Izuku. Izuku. Not bad, I actually felt that, but now it ends here. Says that last part with a serious expression. Just then, only Himari saw what Izuku really looked like, a terrifying beast in human form. She closes her eyes and blocks her face, bracing for impact as he throws a punch towards her face only to stop inches away from it, causing a gust of wind past her while creating a small crater in the ground. He boops her nose as she opens her eyes to see Izuku stop his attack. Izuku. Do you yield? And before you answer, look at your surroundings. Himari looks around to see the ground beneath them only was destroyed. She then realized Izuku was no ordinary man and questioned if he was even human to begin with. It was then she knew she lost to a man but hated to admit. She looks to Izuku reluctantly saying, Himari. I yield. Shushu and Nei were shocked to hear Himari accept defeat while Yuki wondered why he did his adopted older brother pull his punches the whole time during the fight. Kyoka. Himari Azuma has forfeit the match. The winner is Izuku Wakura. Was this even a match to begin with? I know Izuku is strong enough to kill Shuki and also possess abilities, thus being Mato's Emerald Devil, but to be unfazed from an attack like that, other than me in combat, Himari is the second strongest physically in the 7th squad, but you, just who are you, Izuku Wakura? With Yuki, Nei and Shushu. Shushu. What, Himari lost? How? She's the second strongest in this unit in terms of physical. How did broccoli hair overpower her? Nei. Mr. Caretaker is so strong. Nei is so proud to be his superior. Yuki. He wasn't even taking the fight seriously. Says with a neutral expression. Shushu and Nei turn to him confused. Shushu. What do you mean? He looked pretty serious to me. Yuki. He would have went for a KO attack and the battle would be over in 3 seconds, plus Himari wouldn't be able to land that punch if he was fighting seriously. I've known him for years and every time he and I were attacked by someone, whether it was gangster or bullies, no matter the gender, he knocks them out with one hit. So why didn't he go for the knockout? Shushu and Nei were too stunned to speak. They turned to Izuku and Himari below them, wondering who was he. Izuku's paw. Izuku. Well, now that's over, I'll go prepare dinner. About to walk away until Kyoka stops him, asking. Kyoka. Why did you stop your last punch? This also got Himari wondering why he didn't hit her in the face. Izuku. 'Cause I couldn't live with myself if I accidentally did permanent damage to her beautiful face. I'll just go make dinner, and Kyoka, I'll be out of the dorms for my, you know what, I'll be back late, okay? Kyoka. Yeah, I understand, just don't bring too much attention. Okay, Izuku. Deal. Walks inside towards the kitchen, but before he opens the door, danger sense goes off Abbott before it stops. Izuku looks around only to see nothing, shrugs it off and walks inside. Kyoka and Himari stood there for a bit, was still silent. Closing parenthesis. Kyoka. Don't let this fight hold you down. Sometimes it's good to lose so you can improve on your mistakes. Let's head inside, I'm starving. Himari looks at her vice captain to see her face was a red blushing mess with spiral eyes and steam coming out her ears. Himari. BBB beautiful, me, wah, huh, I, stun locked. Kyoka sad face, sigh, she didn't hear a single word I said. Times KIP, dinner. Shushu sad face, enjoying the food made by Izuku. Yum, this is so good broccoli hair, you're such a talented chef. Takes another bit. Izuku's sad face rubs the back of his head, thanks. Hee hee, Kyoka. I'm not a picky eater but I'm glad we're getting nutritionist meals. Himari's sad face, still blushing but not as much before. I'll have seconds, please. Izuku's sad face also blushing slightly, sure, coming right up. Goes to get another serving and hands it to Himari. Closing parenthesis. Yuki. As expected, your meals are far too good to match Izuku. Nei's sad face raises her hand up while smiling. Can you please teach Nei how to cook, Mr. Caretaker? Izuku. Too cute. Fake cough, sure Nei, and please call me Izuku, Mr. Caretaker was my forefathers. Says the last part jokingly causing Nei to giggle. Just like Eri did when he cracked quips and jokes with her. Nei. Okay, Mr. Izuku. Kyoka. Yuki, clean up the dishes and the cups. Himari. Same goes the spare rooms and the watchtower. Yuki's sad face salutes, got it. Yuki's sad face doing the dishes. Wait a minute, I wanted to be a hero not a freaking maid. After Yuki finishes the dishes, he returns to the others and asks. Yuki. Miss Kyoka. Before you and Izuku went to discuss about something, we discussed me and Izuku assisting you out in the field but I feel like chore work is all I ever do around here. Izuku. Here we go again. Sighs. Kyoka sad face sips her tea. I will use you on the field when needed, until then you and Izuku are appealed to do your appointed tasks as caretakers. Yuki. Please, Before Yuki could continue, a blade was at his neck. Himari's sad face has an intimidating aura around her. You can't be this stupid to complain about the commander's hospitality for even let you work here, yo. Her blade arm was grabbed and was moved away from Yuki's neck. She turned to see Izuku was the one who stopped her blade. She released her intimidating aura at him, but to her shock it did nothing. He just stood there, menacingly. He then says, Izuku. Listen, Yuki doesn't speak for both of us, but if you think you'll let threaten my brother, I don't care who are. Just then Izuku released a bone-chilling, hair-straightening, fear-striking bloodlusted aura that not only did everyone in the room feel it, but everyone in Mato felt including the Shuki. Izuku. I will cut you. Done. Mercilessly. Says in an calmed but angry tone. Everyone including Kyoka, although not as much to freeze but enough to frighten her, were too scared to talk until Kyoka regained her composure and placed her hands on both Himari's and Izuku's shoulders telling them to calm down, which both did. After Izuku stopped his bloodlust aura, he sat back down. Kyoka then says, Kyoka. This is an all-girls dorm, so it's obvious that some of you are uncomfortable with the male caretakers, but Izuku is a skilled fighter and a skilled cook while Yuki is a skilled housekeeper. Not only that, he is essential for my ability, so please treat them kindly. If either of them misbehaves, I'll do my duty as the master and twist it off. Is that acceptable? Yuki. Izuku. Twist it off. Sometime later with Izuku and Kyoka. Izuku. Miss Kyoka, I'm heading out for patrol in the overworld. I'll be back late, so just tell Yuki or whoever asks for me that I went to visit my parents and I'll be back late. Okay. Kyoka. Alright, but I have to ask, how are you going to get past the guards at the Mato gateway? It's monitored 24/7. Izuku's sad face smirks. Who said about a gateway? Before Kyoka could even speak, a warp gate opens on Izuku's left. Izuku. This is how I can get in and out of Mato before you guys arrive. And only I can walk through it. This is one of my abilities, warp gate. Stunned but also impressed that her had another ability. Kyoka. I see, so that's how you escape the commanders every time. I'm surprised that you have the same ability as the 6th commander. Quote, Izuku. Her and my powers are completely different in many ways, but I'll you figure out how. See you later, and good night. Walks through while waving his hand at Kyoka, who waves back. Kyoka. Yeah, and stay safe, okay? Can't let Yuki cry about his brother getting injured. The warp gate closed, leaving Kyoka in her office all by herself. Kyoka. Izuku Wakura, just who are you, really? Quote, Yuki's POV has finished cleaning one of the dorm's lookout towers while leaning over a balcony. Yuki. Woo, all done here, but Miss Kyoka said that Izuku went to go see mom and dad, and said that he'll be back late today. Why didn't he just tell me? He sighs until he heard a voice below him. Hamari's POV. Hamari. Nay, I'll be waiting for you in the bath. Nay. Okay. Yuki. Wah. Hamari. Huh. Looks at the watchtower to see no one there. Hamari. Strange. Thought I heard something. Yuki's POV. Yuki. Oh god, that was close. Shushu. You were peeking, weren't you, perv? Yuki. Huh. Yuki looks around the area. Yuki. I swear I just heard Shushu's voice. Shushu. Up here. Yuki's sad face looks up to see a small Shushu, the same size of a pencil, sitting on the balcony rail. Huh, Shushu. You finally revealed your true colors, little slave. Yuki. Shushu. Oh god, Shushu. Surprised to see me. She then enlarges back to her normal size while hold her phone. Shushu. My peach ability allows me to grow and shrink. Grins and takes a photo of Yuki. Yuki. Wah. His skin turned pale. Yuki. What was that for? Shushu. I've been keeping an eye on you, Mr. Slave. I want to see what makes a man tick. Shushu's sad face show him the photo she took. Picture perfect, right, Yuki? Ah, delete right now. Shushu. Bet the commander would be furious if she saw this. What will she do next? Think she'll twist it off. Says with a teasing grin. Yuki. Are you blackmailing me? What is it you want? Money. Shushu. I just want to keep things interesting, so if you don't want me to leak this photo, you'll be my slave as well. Yuki. But I'm already a slave. Damn it, where's Izuku when you need him? Hamari's POV. While she was washing Nei's hair, she couldn't help but remember Izuku and that recent event, that for the very first time, made her scared shitless. It didn't make sense on how someone, a guy no less, made everyone including Miss Kyoka dead scared. Hamari. Not only was he strong and well combat-oriented, he wasn't affected by my threat. That aura he released wasn't human nor a monster, but worse. Nei. Miss Hamari, Miss Hamari, Miss Hamari. Nei pokes Hamari's shoulder, snapping Hamari out of her mind-wandering state. Hamari. Huh, oh yes Nei. What's wrong? Nei. It's just, Nei feels you are worried because you lost early to Mr. Izuku, are you? Hamari. I'm fine Nei, but that male, if he's human enough to be considered one, something doesn't make sense. Nei's sad face confused. What do you mean? Hamari. His combat was that of a level of Miss Kyoka's master in her prime. Commander told me all about her long before you joined, but his was as the same level as her. Then was his physical attributes. It was like each of his attacks were fast like a bullet train but was strong as wrecking balls, not to mention he didn't take the fight seriously, and his attitude. She then remembers all the times he flirted with her and starts blushing. Hamari. He's immature and perverted, just like other men and must be punished. Nei. But Mr. Izuku hasn't done anything wrong though. He was very scary early but he's also really kind to Nei, and as his senpai I'm responsible for him and Mr. Caretaker's safety. She says with a bright smile. Hamari. Too bright. Yeah. That's right, but what's bothering me is why did the commander allow Izuku to come way past curfew, and why did she allow him 3 days leave every week? Nei. Maybe he has someone to see. Hamari. Maybe, but also how is he so strong? Women physical strength is enhanced to a certain degree when we eat a Mato peach, but from our fight it felt he was holding back and he had a clear opening to knock me out but. Short flashback. Izuku. 'Cause I couldn't live with myself if I accidentally did permanent damage to her beautiful face. End of flashback. Hamari started blushing at that while feeling her heart ache but not in a painful way. Hamari. Why does this frustrate me? Times KIP. Next day. Izuku. So you're saying that Shushu has a photo of you that even though it isn't you peeking on Hamari, you have to be her slave otherwise she'll show it to Kyoka. Izuku returns back from his patrol only to hear about the knee-deep shit Yuki got himself into. Yuki. Yes, you got to help me. Izuku. Sorry man, I would help if I didn't have to go on a grocery run. Lies to him. Yuki. Seriously. Izuku. Yep, bye, waves his hand as he walks past Himari, giving her a wink on the way. Himari's sad face, blushing, damn you, continues walking towards the training ground where Kyoka is waiting. Times KIP. 5 minutes later. Yuki is busy cleaning up Shushu's room, which is a huge mess, while Shushu is lying down on her bed scrolling through a romance manga. Shushu. Romance manga just doesn't cut it for me. Action and adventure really gets me fired up, don't you, Mr. Slave? Yuki. Sure. Shushu's sad face turns onto her stomach. Yeah, figured. Yuki's sad face looks at Shushu's phone. If I don't delete that photo on her phone, she'll blackmail me for the rest of my life. Sigh, why did Izuku had to go? Shushu drops her phone on the floor. Yuki. Now's my chance. Yuki goes to grab the phone only for Shushu to snatch it quickly before he can. Shushu. Such a naughty slave holding something like that, hee. Yuki. Huh. Yuki looks to see what is in his hands and saw he was holding green and white stripped panties. He screams in utter shock and frantically throws his hands around. Shushu. Oh, are you feeling tensed? Your face is red as a tomato. Quote. Yuki. You did that on purpose. Shushu. Yep, silly boy, you're so predictable. Ha ha ha. Yuki. Yeah, but are you sure you're okay with handling your unmentionables, even though I'm a guy? Shushu. I'd be creeped out if you did something weird with them, but unlike broccoli hair, I don't see you as a guy, more like a neat little pet. Yuki. A pet, Shushu. Besides, you're our obedient little caretaker, so it's basically you and broccoli hair's job. Yuki's sad face, still holding her panties in his hands. I guess. Snap. Yuki. Huh, Shushu. I can use that for blackmail too. Yuki. Stop taking photos of me. Time skip 5 minutes later. Yuki. The photo thing was a misunderstanding. Even if she does rat me out, I can explain my story to Miss Kyoka. Huh. What's that? Outside. Kyoka. You have to move fast, Himari. Don't give your time to attack. Blocks her attack. Himari. Right. Charges forward, throwing a punch, but got countered. Just then a Shuki appears out of the ground. Kyoka. Observe and learn. Kyoka rushes towards the Shuki, performing the uppercut into tornado spin kick combo, stunning both Himari and Yuki. Yuki. An instant kill. I'm screwed. Can't let Miss Kyoka get the wrong impression. He feels someone poking him, and turns to see it is Nei. Yuki. Oh, hi Nei. Nei. I have news for you and Mr. Izuku as your senpai. Salutes. Yuki. Izuku isn't here at the moment, but sure, I'm listening. Sits on the floor. Nei. The commander, Himari and Nei will be leaving the dorms to attend a meeting, so keep an eye on things with Shushu while we're gone. Yuki. Alone, with Shushu. Nei. Miss Shushu is a real nice person, so this might be a great opportunity to get to know each other better. Yuki looks to see Shushu peeking from behind the wall, waving her hand with a cheeky grin on her face. Yuki. That is not the face of a nice person. Meanwhile, with Himari and Kyoka during this time. Himari. That was amazing, Commander. Her eyes shaped like stars. Kyoka. Thanks, didn't think Izuku's advice would help, guess I was wrong. Himari's sad face, shocked. Wait, the disobedient Wakura help you? Kyoka. Yeah, I was surprised myself at first, but after this, putting him in charge of hand-to-hand combat training was the right call. Flashback. Training ground 3 days ago. Izuku and Kyoka were on the training grounds, with Izuku mopping the floor with Kyoka with nearly zero effort. He lightly taunts her, causing her to drop her guard, allowing Izuku to pin her down, winning their spar. Izuku. You let go of your surroundings when you get mad, that will cost you your life in battle. Kyoka. Shut up. Izuku gets off her and holds out his hand to help her up. Izuku. Why are you more aggressive when I mention your home? Why are you will to go to such lengths with Yuki when it comes to the reward? What's your role in Mato here? Maybe I can help. Kyoka. I don't need help. Izuku. Kyoka, if you keep letting your emotions control you, you'll only be putting others, including yourself, in danger. Those who let their emotions control them go down a dark path that is almost near impossible to stop. Trust me, I know this because I've seen it before, so tell me why you're so fixated on being Supreme Commander, please. Kyoka looks at his hand and accepts his help. After they got a drink of water, she explains her situation. Kyoka. I am the last survivor of my village after a Shuki invaded it. It happened when I was a little girl. The Shuki had one distinguishing feature that I'll never forget. The one horn. Proceed to have brief flashbacks of her trauma. Izuku. I get now, you want revenge. Kyoka. Not just revenge. Izuku. Kyoka's sad face looks towards the hellish horizon. I want to eliminate all the Shuki. Everything that created Mato. I want to permanently make sure Mato is destroyed so that the Shuki can never destroy another village ever again. That why no matter what I will become Supreme Commander, and with you and Yuki's help, I now have a chance. Izuku admired her determination and her goal. It reminded him of how he wanted to be the world's greatest hero. Kyoka. Yet most people still say it's a dumb old dream to have. Izuku. Hang on to your dreams, Kyoka. The future is built on dreams. Besides, like you said, you have Yuki and I to help you make that dream a reality. Kyoka. Izuku. We'll make sure you do. Even though I'm not under your ability, I'll still help in any way. Kyoka's sad face smiles. Thanks, Izuku. I'm curious why you never asked me to use my ability on you two though. Izuku. Because from what I can tell from our previous encounter before, you knew I was Mato's Emerald Devil, which by the way really couldn't come up with a better name for me. Kyoka. Not like we knew you were male with powers that aren't from Peaches, which also brings deja vu for some reason, but enough of that, you were saying. Izuku. Right, when you were chasing me with multiple Shuki beside you, I saw that each had multiple chains around them and you were more tired than usual, and after I killed them you regained half of your stamina back, bringing me to the conclusion that the more entities you use your ability on, the permanent the strain is on your body, even if there's two, plus wouldn't want to rob Yuki of his fun now, would I? Kyoka was shocked on how observant he was. She blushed at the last part, saying, Kyoka. That's just the downside of my ability. Izuku. Yeah, sure, you don't have the hots for my little brother. Says with a sarcastic tone. Kyoka's sad face grabs her sword and aims it at Izuku. I will put you in your place. Izuku catches the sword, takes out of her hands and suplex her over him. Izuku. Again, you let your emotions control you. You do that in battle, you'll only put others including yourself in danger. He stands up and says. Izuku. Anger can be your most powerful weapon. If you learn to control it, control your heart, Kyoka, only then will you solidify your shot at being Supreme Commander. Kyoka did nothing but listen to his words. For someone who was the same age as Himari and her three other squad members, age 19, his words held wisdom and experience, like he was told this before. Izuku. I'm heading out on patrol. If anyone asks, tell them I went to get groceries. Go, bye. Waves his hand while walking through a warp gate. End of flashback. Kyoka. Come now, we need to get ready or we'll be late for the meeting. Himari. Right. TIMESKIP with Shushu and Yuki. Shushu's sad face moans, fantastic, nothing like a massage after an intense workout. While Shushu keeps enjoying the massage, Yuki was at his limit. Yuki. Why am I letting her walk all over me? ENOUGHS enough, I gotta put my foot down once and for, Looked down and saw Shushu's chest jiggle while he was massaging her. Yuki. I guess I should keep it up for a little bit longer. Shushu. Hey, how are you so good at massages? Yuki. Oh, well, Izuku and used to give massages to our big sister, so we have practice. Shushu. Oh, you got another older sibling just like me. Yuki. You have siblings. Shushu. I have two older sisters. I'm the youngest. I grew up without a dad and I've only attended an all-girls school, so I've never talked to a guy before you. Yuki. Oh really? They continued talking about their past. Until later. Shushu. Hey, wanna play a fighting game? Yuki. Okay, for once I'm glad it's someone other than Izuku. I'm pretty good at video games, but Izuku's a whole different beast. Shushu. Then let's spice it up a bit. The loser has to remove a piece of their clothes from their body. Yuki. Hold a sec. Shushu. Slaves don't have the right to refuse their master, so you suffer the consequences. Hands him a controller. Yuki. Fine by me, bring it. I'll beat her and force her to apologize. Time passes as we see both were in their underwear. Yuki was glad Izuku taught him how to perform combos. Although Yuki wasn't good, he was able to hold his own until K.O. Shushu wins. Shushu. Yuppie, I won. I'll admit I didn't think you would last this long, but as expected you're so predictable. Yuki sad face, stunned shocked, but Izuku taught me everything I know. Shushu. Come on, time to get naked. Yuki. But if I do I'd be committing a crime. Shushu. We're in Mato, so it's fine, now take it off, I want to see a guy exposed. Yuki. Wait, you have to remember I'm a man, what if I start getting frisky? It's safe for you. Shushu starts giggling, then starts laughing. Shushu. That's what you were worried about, how adorable. Begins to increase her size. Yuki. I forgot about her ability. Looking up at the giant Shushu towering him. Shushu. Don't worry, I'd never let a man take advantage of me, you're the one in danger here. Yuki was lifted up like a piece of paper, then was laid down on his back. Just as he was about to get up, Shushu sat on him, making sure he's incapacitated. Shushu. Now that you're incapacitated, it's time to accept your punishment and show me what you're packing. Removes his underwear. Just as she was about to look, a loud rumbling was heard. They rush outside to see a giant Shuki attacking the barrier. Yuki. An attack. Miss Kyoka and the others are still gone. Shushu. Wait here, I'll handle it. Yuki. Hey, wait a minute. Shushu. Guys like you are just fragile without powers, so be a good boy and stay put. Yuki. HRGH, tick mark on his forehead. Shushu. Let's rumble. Shushu then begins to increase her size using her peach ability. Shushu. Paradigm shift. Shushu jumps over the dorms and lands in front of the Shuki. The Shuki attacks Shushu, but she moves to the side and catches its arm. Shushu. That all you got? She throws the Shuki over her shoulder and slams it into the ground. Then she grabs its legs and spins around, throwing it in the air. She jumps up using paradigm shift again, punching the Shuki in the chest, and then uses paradigm shift again while delivering a dropkick, destroying the giant Shuki. Shushu's sad face sighs while shrinking down to her regular giant form. Turning into a giant is really exhausting. Yuki. Shushu, look out. Shushu. Huh. Just then Shushu was hit from behind by another giant Shuki, knocking her onto the ground. Shushu. Arg, so there was another one nearby, huh? The Shuki then begins to get bigger and bigger as a horde of regular Shuki jump onto the giant one, merging with it. Shushu. Woo, it's keeping me on my toes. The Shuki attacks Shushu, but the barrier protected her from the hit. She rolled to the side and landed outside the barrier. It then throws slashes at her only to tear the tank top, exposing her bare chest. Just as she was about to move, she was restrained by regular Shuki grabbing her feet, holding her in place. Shushu was starting to get tired and her moves were getting slower. Yuki's paw. Yuki. I wanna help too, but without Miss Kyoka I can't transform, wait. Yuki runs to the laundry-mat basket and grabs Kyoka's boot. Yuki. I transformed when I licked Miss Kyoka's hand, so by that logic. Yuki licked Kyoka's boot and a bright light begins to cover him. Meanwhile with Shushu, Shushu throws a boulder at the giant Shuki only for it to be ineffective. Shushu. I got carried away wiping out the jumbo size, a bad habit of mine, I'm going to shrink back soon. Yuki. Just then a midway transformed Yuki was rushing out of the dorms towards the battle. Shushu. Wow, you only transformed midway, that's new. Yuki, slave form incomplete, hold it down, I'll destroy it, just hold it down. For that moment Shushu was amazed before she snapped out of it and grabbed the Shuki. Shushu. Come here. Yuki, slave form incomplete, RAAAAAAH. Yuki jumps up and does a bicycle kick, slicing the Shuki in half, causing it to explode into dust. Shushu. Huh, where's Yuki? Shushu looks up to see Yuki falling down while turning back to normal. Luckily 2 giant soft peaks caught him. Yuki's sad face starts panicking because he's stuck. Hold on, this isn't, you saved my life but I'm stuck. Trying to free himself from Shushu's chest. Much later, Shushu places Yuki back down safely. Shushu. Forcing a transformation, that's a bit over the top. Yuki. I did it to prove you wrong, that guys aren't fragile nor wimpy. Shushu. Huh. Shushu then realized that Yuki was exposed, and saw everything. Shushu. Oh my god, so that's what a guy's lower area looks like. Yuki. Huh, ah. Wait, I was naked when I transformed, it's not what it looks like, I swear, I. Just before he could finish his sentence, a regular Shuki launched out of the ground and rushes Yuki and Shushu, but before it got any closer. Izuku. SSSSSSMMMAAASSSH. Punches the Shuki so hard it caused a shockwave. Shushu. What the? Yuki. Izuku. Izuku's sad face sighs, I just got back from the store and see you two like this. What happened? Both Shushu and Yuki were still shocked and flustered about the previous encounter before Izuku arrived. Izuku. You know what, I don't want to know, just get inside and clean yourselves up before the others get back. They both rushed back inside the dorms, leaving Izuku standing there heading back inside. Some time later, Kyoka is on top of Yuki giving him a rough back massage. Yuki. Oh wow, ow ow, Miss Kyoka, please be more gentle, ow. Kyoka. Just stay still. Hamari's sad face on the stairway looking over edge. Out of commission after a few minutes in the field, how pathetic. Izuku's sad face leaning against a wall. Says the girl who couldn't last a few minutes in a spar with me. Says in a flirty teasing tone. Hamari. Shut up. Flustered. Yuki. Shouldn't we be repairing the barrier? Izuku. Don't worry, the barriers surrounding the dorms and peach groves have special properties, am I correct, Kyoka? Kyoka. Yes you are, so as long as the damage is minor, the barrier will repair itself. Yuki. Ow, okay. Kyoka. But more importantly, quit squirming. Elbows Yuki's back. Yuki's sad face grunting in pain. Izuku's sad face winces Abbott feeling sorry for Yuki. Sometime later, Kyoka is sitting on top of Yuki's back. Kyoka. No more killing Shuki for the thrill, Shushu, got it? Underestimating your opponent is how you end in a body bag. Shushu. Yes ma'am. Kyoka. You can thank Yuki by helping him with his side of the dormitory chores. Shushu. Right. Izuku. Same goes for you, Yuki. Forcing yourself to transform and rushing into battle was crazy. Even though I'd do the same thing if I was in your position. Yuki. I'm sorry, I just couldn't stand by and do nothing, I had to be a hero and help. Izuku. Just remember, there's a thin line between being a hero and being a memory. Having powers doesn't mean you're invincible. Everyone was stunned by how true Izuku's words were. Kyoka then smiled. Kyoka. Couldn't have said better myself. Izuku, meet me in my office in 10 minutes. Izuku. Got it. Everyone except Shushu and Yuki, who is still laid down on the couch, leaves to their own tasks. Yuki. Tries to get up. Just then Shushu sat on top of him. Yuki. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Shushu. Asserting dominance as your master, you got me even more curious about guys, so let's keep our arrangement. Holds up her phone showing Yuki a photo of both of them naked. Yuki. How the hell did you get the perfect blackmail photo? Petrified. Shushu. Hee, see you later, Mr. Caretaker Slave. Walks around the corner. Yuki. She's got too many incriminating photos, I can't talk my out now, will I ever be free from this torture? Has given up on hope. Little does he know Shushu was hiding behind the corner holding her chest with a blushing face. Shushu. I won't give you up, Yuki. Meanwhile in Kyoka's office, Kyoka and Izuku were sitting opposite each other. The room was very silent until Kyoka finally spoke. Kyoka. So, Deku huh? Not exactly sure why you would go with the name that means useless. Izuku. I was called that all of my life before I met Yuki and Aoba, but someone who I cared about once told that Deku meant two things, useless and do your best. She changed my life and I'm grateful for that. Kyoka. I see then, well thank you for saving everyone on that bridge, I wouldn't have lived with myself if people got hurt from that Shuki. Izuku. No need to thank me, it's just what I do. Kyoka. You know people will start asking questions, now that they've seen a man with multiple powers, and it won't be long before the Demon Defense Force are tasked with capturing you. Izuku. I know, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Kyoka. Right, that's all for now, you're to get back to the kitchen and refill the pantry. Izuku. Yes ma'am. Izuku leaves the room while Kyoka starts wondering how the others will react to his hero persona. Somewhere in a Mato peach forest, a squad was attacked by a large shuki that had a razor-sharp horn on its head as it was about to eat a squad member. "Do not eat her," ordering the shuki. Just then a figure hair tendril starts grabbing Peaches. "I knew I felt it, I can sense their presence anywhere, especially his." The figure jumps on top of the one horn. Izuku and Yuki are somewhere in Mato. "I better pay them a visit," eats the Mato peach. Few days ago, after the events at the table when Izuku walks through the warp gate. It's night time. Izuku's sad face on a rooftop of a large building. Right then, Izuku in his vigilante suit jumps off the roof and starts swinging around the city using Black Whip. His cowl is tapped into a police radio frequency so he can get alerts for an emergency. "Izuku, what you got for me today?" Izuku kept jumping from roof to roof, swinging from building to building, all while doing insane air tricks and parkour moves, until back of creeps. Izuku turns towards the direction of the sound. He saw two women in high school uniforms that were roughly the same age as Izuku. One had short black hair while the other in front of her had long light red hair that she tied up and stood in a battle stance, surrounded by a large gang of both male and female, all having the same tattoo on their arm, a skull and bone cross with the skull having 3 eyes and horns. P.S. For the manga readers, it is not the devotees, but an entirely different group. Comment down a name for them. Here's some info about them. They're a notorious group that were accused of several murders of law officers of all kinds, kidnappings of male and female of all ages, robberies, abduction of multiple crates of Mato peaches and many more, but were never found guilty due to their leader having connections in high places. They surrounded the two girls, making sure there was no escape, while Izuku was perched on a ledge of the building above them waiting for the moment to strike. Gang henchman female equals GHF and gang henchman male equals GHM. GHF right hand, we know you have information about Mato having special weapons that even the commanders can't use, so hand them over and we'll let you go. GHM right hand, sad face, readies his gun with a suppressor. Refuse and we'll blow your brains out of those pretty little heads. Opening parenthesis. I don't know anything about Mato, I'm not a defense force member. Opening parenthesis. Even if I did know, I wouldn't tell. Still in battle stance, as the henchmen were about to shoot, all of their weapons were grabbed by a tendril from above and were yanked out of their hands. Everyone including the two girls look above them to see something out of a horror movie. Izuku landed in front of the two girls facing the group in front of them. Izuku, didn't your mom ever teach you not to harm a lady? Two henchmen males run at Izuku only to get comboed and knocked out with few broken ribs and a concussion. GHM right hand, what he hell? Izuku, is that all you got? I normally wouldn't hit a lady, but judging by your actions you're more like spoiled brats seeking attention. Says in a mocking tone. GHF right hand, RGH, get this freak. Izuku, freak, wow, was that your attempt at making an insult? 'Cause that's dull like edges. Three henchmen females start using their peach ability to capture him only to be ineffective and were knocked out in seconds. Izuku, come on, you guys can do better than that. That's when both the henchmen's right hand male and female ordered them to all attack him at once. One by one each member of the gang were comboed. The two girls were standing there stunned at the guy that is helping them has powers and is so combat oriented that it looks like he's not even trying. One girl in particular is in a mixture of emotions for her savior. Opening parenthesis. Wow, he's amazing, the way he fights, it's like child's play to him, but he has powers, how is that possible? Opening parenthesis. Who is he? Whispers to her friend. Just as she was about to answer, they were both grabbed by the right-hand leaders. With tight grips they locked the two girls in place. They were the only thing that kept Izuku from moving closer, or so they thought. GHF right hand, okay freak, this is how it's going to be, stand down and take off that mask or we snap fear nec huh. The GHF right hand blinked once and Izuku was already behind them. He grabbed both of the gang's right-hand heads and slammed them into each other, then slammed them backwards into the ground. Izuku turned to the girl who were still on guard. Izuku, Contact the police, tell what they tried to do. He was about to take off until they asked. Opening parenthesis. Wait, who are you? Opening parenthesis. And do you have multiple powers? Izuku stopped dead in his tracks. Izuku. You know who I am. Opening parenthesis. We do. Izuku. I'm your friendly neighborhood hero. After that, he jumped up into the air over the tall building, thus the rumors a monster vigilante began. He has stopped multiple gang attacks, robberies, saved people from burning buildings and falling over edges, etc. The people were divided by his actions. Some people, mostly police females, say that it's a Shuki in human form of a man, that's why it has powers. Others say he's a hero after he saved their and or their loved ones' lives, but wonder the same thing. Who is he? Timeskip before Izuku left for a grocery run. Yuki was explaining his situation with Shushu to Izuku. Izuku. So you're saying that Shushu has a photo of you, that even though it isn't you peeking on Himari, you have to be her slave, otherwise she'll show it to Kyoka. Yuki. Yes, you got to help me. Izuku. Damn, I feel sorry for you, dude. Yuki. Why? Izuku. I would help if I didn't have to go on a grocery run, see ya. Izuku walks outside, then opens a warp gate. Kip 3 hours later. Izuku is swinging around until the police radio goes off. Dispatch. Less than ALL units, all units. There is an unknown Shuki over at Tokyo Bridge, Defense Force officers are on scene. We need all units to help evacuate the civilians. Greater than. Izuku. That's my K. Izuku jumps off the building and swings over to Tokyo Bridge. That's when he sees a large Shuki with certain features he knew all too well, which was the only thing he worried about. Izuku. Why is a Nomu here? Panicking because it only meant one thing: he survived. The Shuki Nomu hybrid attacked the Defense Force officers that were trying to take it down. But all their attacks were useless due to the hybrid have hyper-regeneration. Shocked and losing faith, they braced themselves for its attack, only for Izuku to arrive just in time block its attack. Izuku. Get the civilians to safety, I'll handle this. Runs at the hybrid using OFA at 45% full cowl. He hits it in the chest, making a large hole. The Mato officers and the police were shocked at how strong the being in front of them did so much damage, but were terrified that the hybrid regenerated again, but this time it was weaker. Izuku. So the more damage I do, the weaker you get. Starts delivering consecutive 45% smashes. Blow after blow the hybrid got weaker, to the point where it had to retreat. Izuku was about to chase after it until. Civilian mother. Help, help, someone help. Izuku turned around to see a little boy's mother calling for help. A car was hanging over the water by the familiar green rope. The hybrid would have to wait, the Mato officers were already after it. Izuku jumped over to the woman, trying to calm her down so she can explain what happened. Civilian mother. My son trapped in the car, please help him. Izuku jumps off the bridge and lands on the dangling car while a boy was crying for help. Little boy. Help, help me. Izuku. Hey, it's okay. The little boy was still crying help and scared of Izuku because of his mask. Izuku's sad face takes mask off. It's just a mask, no need to scared, everything is going to be okay, alright. The little boy nods his head. He was still looking at Izuku's mask. Izuku. You want to hold my mask? Hands him the mask. Izuku. What's your name? Atami. Atami. Izuku. Okay Atami, I'm going to need you to unbuckle your seat belt and climb up to me. Okay. Atami nodded. As he did unbuckle his seat belt, the rope began to give way and strands started to snap, causing Atami to fall to the front dashboard. Izuku's sad face grabs the car by the bumper. Atami, you need to climb. Atami. I can't, I'm scared. Izuku. It's okay to be scared Atami, but you gotta be strong, right? The bumper was starting to break. Izuku can't hold on much longer. Izuku. Atami put on the mask. Okay, it's gonna make strong, okay. Atami nodded and put on the mask. He started climbing up to Izuku until the bumper broke, but before Atami could fall, Izuku used Black Whip to catch him. Izuku. I got you, panting. Atami's mother was worried sick about her son but relieved to see Izuku, with his mask back on, along with her son. She runs towards him and hugs him like no tomorrow. Atami's mother. My baby, oh thank God, you're okay. Crying tears of joy that her son is okay. Atami. Mommy, also crying. Izuku stood there in silence, looking at the moment between mother and son. It reminded him all the moments with his mother was whenever he got hurt. All the good memories as well as the bad. Izuku. I miss you mom. Izuku was about to take off until Atami's mother. Wait, calling out to Izuku, making him stop in his tracks. Who are you? That question was one he kept asking himself every day. Was he Izuku Midoriya or Izuku Wakura? He turned his head towards her and said, Izuku. I'm Deku. Quote. After that Izuku jumped off the bridge and started swinging towards the shop, but one thing on his mind was certain. If the Shuki had features of a Nomu, that only meant one thing. All for one lives. Present time. After the events of the giant Shuki attacking the dormitory. Everyone was in the living room for an early morning meeting with Kyoka saying, Kyoka. The last 3 members of the 7th squad are about to arrive. Yuki. There are other squad members. Kyoka. They were appointed to complete a strict training due to them having 2 different peach abilities. Now that they've completed it, they're on their way back. Izuku. I'll go prepare more food for them. Walks towards the kitchen. Nay. Can Nay help cook too? Izuku's sad face giggling at the cuteness. Sure. Head chef Nay, I shall follow your lead. Does a formal bow while walking into the kitchen. Kyoka. Right, Yuki, I want you to make sure everything is clean before they get back. Yuki. Right, salutes. Pa the 3 members. Izuku's not getting any sleep with them around. 3 women were driving back in a jeep that looked slightly different from the regular Mato vehicles. Question mark opening parenthesis. 1. That training was intense. Behind the 2. Question mark opening parenthesis. 2. I'll say. Luckily they thought your quirks were just additional peach abilities. Luckily I still had to go with you guys. The dorms were a mess. Driving. Question mark opening parenthesis. 3. I heard Pink Hair hired 2 boys as cleaners for the dorms. If they mess with any of my babies they'll be sorry. In the passenger seat. Question mark opening parenthesis. 2. Hatsume. You need to stop calling them that, right Ochako? Ochako. Melissa's right. You need a better name for your inventions, May, or people will get the wrong idea. May. Whatever, at least Izuku didn't mind when I called them that. Then everyone went silent. They all started to remember Izuku, their boyfriend, his antics, his kindness, his heroic will, his everything. They remembered that when Melissa came to Japan after the events of the First War, they found out each of them had a crush on him. They decided to confess to him before they were getting ready. As you would expect, he was flustered, but he accepted all of them. After the battle between Deku and All for One Shigaraki, they were heartbroken to find out that their boyfriend was dead. But at night the same day they were brought to T'Challa's realm. He asked them if they would like to be with Izuku again in a new world. They all answered yes. Instantly, they wanted nothing else but to be with him. Ochako. I miss Deku-kun. Melissa. Any luck finding him? May. No, just more Shuki-related stuff. Ochako. We'll find him. May. Hey, are we there yet? Melissa. Just over the hill. Ochako. Melissa and May arrived at the 7th squad dorms. They were glad to be back, but it wasn't the same without Izuku. Little did they know Izuku was within their reach. Ochako. We're back. Kyoka. Welcome back you 3, hope you didn't have any trouble. Kyoka and Himari stood there waiting to greet them. May. Just peachy, strictly pink. Melissa. We heard that you recently recruited 2 more people here. Himari. Yes, the insufferable Wakura brothers. Yuki. What did I do? Just walked in. Kyoka. Yuki. These are the rest of the 7th squad. Meet Ochako Uraraka, Melissa Shield and Mei Hatsume. Ochako. Hi, nice to meet you. Melissa. Indeed, nice to see a new face. Mei. Hey there. Just as Yuki was about to speak, a voice called for him, a voice Ochako, Melissa and Mei knew all too well. Izuku's sad face from the kitchen. Yuki, did you move the cutlery again? Yuki. Second draw, near the sink. Izuku's sad face still in the kitchen. Thanks. Yuki. No problem Izuku. And that was the last thing he said before he and Kyoka were pushed aside as the three girls ran towards the kitchen with Hamari behind. Hamari. The hell. Once they got there, they saw the very person they looked for cooking soup, curry and ramen, assisted by his adorable superior. Nei turned around to greet them. Nei. Welcome back, Mr. Caretaker. I mean Mr. Izuku, and I'm making dinner to celebrate your success. Izuku's sad face, still chopping chives with his back turned. Don't worry. Dinner will be ready, we'll get introduce each other over a meal. Ochako, Melissa, Mei. Deku-kun, Izu, muscles. At that moment Izuku stopped everything, he switched the stove off and put the knife down, he turned around to see three people he never thought he'd see again. He walks towards them until he was right in front of them. Nei was confused about the situation. Ochako, Melissa, Mei. Is it really you Deku-kun, Izu, muscles? Izuku. He stood there in place and nodded. It's me. After Izuku said that, all three girls rushed him and hugged him tight, smashing his head into their breast. He hugged them back while holding back his tears. The girls cried tears of joy that their boyfriend was back. Everyone arrived to the kitchen to see this. Kyoka was wondering how he knows those three. Nei was panicking that her junior might get killed by them. Shushu was taking mental notes on this so she can use it on Yuki. Yuki was both glad that Izuku was showing affection again but also flustered. Hamari was both shocked and also jealous by this. Hamari. What is happening here? Shushu. I didn't know Broccoli Hair was a playboy. Nei. Nei is confused. Kyoka. I believe it's time you tell the truth, Izuku. Izuku managed to get his head out of Heaven's 6 pillows and calm them down. Izuku. Yeah, it's time we told the truth, but promise me you won't tell anyone. Please. Kyoka nodded, and with that Izuku, Ochako, Melissa and Mei told everyone everything about them, about how they were reincarnated to this world, how in their world 80% of the humanity had powers and that Izuku has 7 of them, they left out the war and that Izuku died. Kyoka. Wow, that's a lot to take in. Izuku. I bet. Hamari. Reincarnated from another world. Sounds like a fairy tale. Melissa. Well, we're living proof it's real. Nei. Nei's superiors and her junior are so strong. Sparkle eyes. Izuku, Ochako, Melissa, Mei. She's just like Eri. Yuki. Wait, you mean to tell me my brother is a badass with superpowers and never told me, those Aoba? Izuku. No, she does, and the reason why I didn't tell you was to keep you both safe. A guy who has powers would have a target on his back. Izuku stood up of the couch. Izuku. Well, dinner isn't going to make itself, I'll be back. Izuku walks into the kitchen and brings back his well-cooked food. Time skipping later to Izuku having a bath. He was alone with his thoughts, seeing the 3 women he loved so much brought joy to his heart, but then events of the Nomushuki hybrid. We go to Izuku waking up with his 3 girlfriends on top of him still sleeping. Izuku could do nothing but smile at the sight before him. He tried to get up but the girls would not let go. Izuku. Girls, please get up, I need to get ready. Ochako, Melissa, Mei. 5 more minutes Deku-kun, let me sleep Izu, grope me harder muscles. To say Izuku was shocked by Mei's sleep talk was an understatement. However, before Izuku could even get up, his room door opened with Hamari shouting. Hamari. Hey caretaker number 2, your brother is with the commander on an era. Cut off by the sight of Ochako, Melissa and Mei in their underwear on top of Izuku. She became a blushing mess and started yelling. Hamari. What da fuck is going on here? To whoever see this, can I get a less than what da fuck is a kilometer? Greater than in all caps please. I'm from South Africa by the way. Closing square bracket. That's when all the girls woke up to see Hamari at the door and see a shirtless Izuku underneath them. They all blushed remembering last night. TIMESKIP with a chibi Izuku trying to explain the situation to a chibi Hamari. We go outside to the training grounds to see a practice spar between Ochako and Izuku with Shushu, Nei, Hamari, Mei and Melissa on the spectators' balcony. Shushu and Nei were surprised to see Ochako was having a tough time given she had 2 different abilities related with gravity, but more surprised that Izuku, a guy, has an ability and was barely even trying. Hamari now understood why Miss Kyoka decided to make him join the 7th Squad unit. His power was something unnatural and powerful. she also realized that if their previous battle involved powers, she would have not survived the fight. Mei and Melissa stood there knowing full well that Izuku is still holding back, and they knew Ochako knows it too. Speaking of Ochako, we see Ochako blocking a punch to the head, but the force sent her back Abbott. Ochako's sad face panting while saying this, "Are you even using one for all?" Izuku's sad face barely broke a sweat. "Yes I am. How much though? That's a different story." Ochako, you better be ready because I'm about to show you. Ochako uses zero gravity to jump up and then uses burden to increase her fall Abbott to deliver a dropkick. Ochako, how strong I've gotten. Izuku saw this and moved his head slightly to the right only to get caught by Ochako, who put his head into a thylock. Blushing from the sudden soft surprise, he tried his best to break free without hurting her. Even though he knows she's tough, Izuku is still the kind soul that he thinks is gone. But before things could go further, an alarm was triggered. Nei rushed to the command center to see a radar view of a Shuki nest. Nei, there's a large amount of Shuki that appeared. Nei will notify the commander. While Nei sent the emergency call to Kyoka and Yuki, the rest of the girls ran to their room to change into their uniforms. Izuku went and put on his vigilante suit but without the mask, the cape in his bag. Just his claw-looking nano gauntlets and his talon-look iron boots. Times KIP, Kyoka and Yuki after the reward was over. Kyoka, give us the sitrep. Hamari, we have gotten reports of a large number of Shuki in a crater 15 kilometers from here due south and a Mato gate 5 kilometers from the crater due west. Yuki, alright, time to go Shuki hunting. Rises his arm up. Shushu, you're really fired up too. Rises her arm up too. Izuku, easy there you two. There's still the gate to worry about. Kyoka, Izuku is right, that's why Mei and Melissa will be here alerting us of any upcoming events. Nei, okie dokie. Melissa, yes ma'am. Mei, sure thing, pink hair. Kyoka turns toward the rest. Kyoka, the rest of us will be using 3 vehicles to get there. Izuku, let's rev up and roll out then. Hamari was about to reprimand Izuku for speaking out of turn, but Kyoka agreed and told everyone to move out. Just as Izuku got outside, he felt like someone was watching him. He shrugged it off and saw everyone was already ahead of him, so he activated full cowl 20% and started running, catching up to them in 5 seconds. With Yuki, slave form, and Kyoka. Kyoka, we'll go on ahead, Yuki. Yuki, slave form, RAAAAAAH. Starts running faster. Shushu sad face driving her Mato dirt bike, he's fast, wow. Hamari sad face in the Mato jeep with Ochako in the passenger seat. He's just a wild animal. Ochako, he's not a wild, and Hamari, also Shushu, you might want to move to the right, Izuku can run faster than that easily. Says while looking in the rear view mirror seeing green sparks closing in fast. Shushu, huh, what are you talking abo? Just then, green lighting rushed past in between them towards Kyoka and Yuki. Both Shushu and Hamari were shocked to see what just happened, but Ochako had a small smirk. Ochako, same old Deku-kun, hope you're ready to see how much stronger I got. With Kyoka and Yuki, slave form. Yuki and Kyoka were 11 kilometers from the Mato gate. Yuki wondering where Izuku was until they heard. Izuku, wow, is this the fastest you can do bro? Not bad. Both Kyoka and Yuki looked to their right to see Izuku doing the Naruto run with green lightning surrounding his body. Kyoka, how are you not tired? Yuki, slave form, and where were you earlier? Izuku, 1, lots of painful stamina training, and 2, at the dorms, I wanted to give you guys a head start, so we're heading to the gateway. Kyoka, yes, we need to guard it to make sure no Shuki gets through. Izuku, got it, see ya they're slowpokes. Izuku starts running faster, leaving both Yuki and Kyoka in his dust. Yuki started to also run faster to catch up. 5 minutes later, a large nest of Shuki are piled in the crater. Izuku is in front of a gate looking at the crater. Kyoka and Yuki arrive just in time. Yuki, slave form, alright, let's beat the shit out these SHUUKI. Kyoka, hold it, wait for my command, we'll use the power of the 7th squad to eliminate all of them. Just then a giant Shushu jumped up into the air and landed a ground hound punch sending multiple Shuki into the air. Shushu. Hamari, Ochako. Hamari. I'm on it. Turns her arm into a minigun and shoots the Shuki. Ochako's sad face, finger gun points to the free-falling Shuki. The pink buds on her hands turn purple as she said the words. Crush. All of the Shuki hit the ground like speeding missiles and got pancake flattened. Izuku was most impressed by Ochako's progress and saw how strong she gotten. Kyoka. The Shuki are tough bastards, but they're simple-minded. Once they form together, that's our signal to strike. Izuku. Cut the head of snake before it has time to attack. Nice. Everything was going well until an unknown blast wave hits Shushu, knocking her down. Hamari. Shushu. Just then a large Shuki with an unforgettable feature just appeared on top of the cliff. Yuki. Izuku and Kyoka knew it instantly. Yuki, slave form, one horn. Izuku. On top of its head. Kyoka. It's him. She grips her sword tightly while having flashbacks. The one horn jumped into the air, trying to pancake Ochako and Hamari. Izuku saw this and instantly speedblitzed towards the two, grabbed them by the waist, and jumped out of the jeep, all in 2 seconds tops. It happened so fast, they didn't know they were out of the way until Izuku asked. Izuku. You two okay? Ochako. Yeah, thanks to you. Hamari. Let go of me. Pushes Izuku of her, she got back and said in a stuttered tone. Thanks, caretaker. Izuku. No problem. I'm here for the party. Ochako. It can talk. Izuku. That voice, it can't be. Hamari. Are you some kind of monster? Sad face, hair starts to glow. That's not very nice. Careful with your next words, 'cause I have more than a sharp tongue. Shoots a fire blast out of her mouth. Hamari arm starts to glow and turn into a shield. But Izuku stood in front of both her and Ochako, tanking the blast. Izuku. Oye, that stings Abbott. Smoke clears revealing an unharmed Izuku in front of Hamari and Ochako. Hamari was shocked on how Izuku wasn't hurt but Ochako just hugged him. Ochako. Thank God, you're okay. Izuku. Help Shushu, I'll deal with her. Ochako. Got it, let's go. Hamari. Grabs her hand and runs towards the unconscious Shushu. Hamari. But what about? Ochako. Look out. Jumps in front of Hamari to block a surprise punch from the giant Shuki, knocking both Hamari and Ochako out. Back Izuku and the unknown figure on the one horn. Ah, that felt great. Just then Kyoka and Yuki, slave form, rushed behind her while Izuku launched himself in front of her loading a right hook. She jumps back dodging both attacks. Era, aren't we the type strong huh? Kyoka. I've finally found it. That unicorn will die. Wow. You heard that. They have a cute little nickname for you. Yuki, slave form, it's him. The bastard WHO destroyed Kyoka's home, and that woman on top, WHO is she. Looks around to see Shushu, Ochako and Hamari all on the floor injured. Izuku's sad face only kept his eyes on. Aoba, is that really you? What happened to you? Kyoka's sad face, still enraged, points her sword toward Aoba. You, on the SHUUKI, WHO or you? Aoba. You could say, I'm the Demon Defense Force's archenemy. Grabs a Mato peach from her hair tendrils. Kyoka. A Mato peach. Aoba. By the way, have you seen my brothers anywhere? They're easy to spot since they're both incredibly handsome. Grins. Kyoka. Brothers, there are more of these things. Izuku. Brothers, no doubt about it, that's definitely Aoba. Still in fighting stance with one for all active. Just as Aoba went about how handsome her brothers or the giant Shuki had formed together. It towered over the group, and roared at them. The next second Aoba gave her signature death glare towards it. Izuku and Yuki were shocked with mixed emotions. Aoba's sad face forms multiple hair tendrils. I'm talking about my brothers, so don't interrupt me. Izuku. Not only can she consume more peaches, her hair tendrils are no joke. Aoba. Here, have a snack. Feeds the Shuki corpse to the one horn. Kyoka. I get now, you must be their supreme commander. Yuki, slave form, sad face, charges forward. Raaaaaah. Aoba. You don't know anything about Mato, do you? Jumps back with the one horn. Aoba's sad face, hair starts to glow. This is a world filled with curses. Aoba was about to fire until Izuku throws a Detroit smash, but the one-horn sensed it and shielded Aoba, tanking most the damage, weakening it. Aoba looked toward Izuku and was stunned by what she saw. Green hair, adorable face and a chiseled god body, but his expression was one of seriousness and sadness. The Shuki with Kyoka on, she sensed a familiar presence. Aoba knew the boy who tried to attack her and the white Shuki was her Izuku and Yuki. Aoba. They're alive. She saw force from the attack wounded her and makes a retreat. Kyoka sad face enraged. You cowards, don't run away from me. Izuku, Yuki, slave form, Kyoka, Miss Kyoka. Kyoka enraged, fine then. I'll chase you down and do what you did to all those villagers, and tear you to pieces. Yuki, let's go, they're getting away. Kyoka turns around to see why Yuki wasn't listening, to see him protecting Shushu from a horde of Shuki. Yuki, slave form, Shushu, are you okay? Shushu. I am now thanks to you. Still injured. She then turns to see Izuku doing the same but with both Hamari and Ochako still knocked out in his arms. Izuku. Stay with me you two, I'm going lose you, not again. Kyoka then realizes the situation, she grabs her hat and slams it to the floor. Kyoka. Yuki, Izuku. Yuki, slave form, Izuku. Huh. Kyoka sad face slashes a Shuki in half. Hamari, Ochako and Shushu safety are our top priority, we're pulling back to base. Izuku. Got it, charges one for all and runs back to the dorms with Hamari and Ochako in his arms. Yuki, slave form, yes ma'am. Kyoka sad face picks up her hat and jumps on Yuki's back. What was I thinking? I let my rage take over and it almost costed my squadmates. Times KIP. 7th Squad's dormitory. In Kyoka's office, we see the reward for Yuki already began while Izuku was leaning against the door. Kyoka. Hamari, Shushu and Ochako's wounds are minor but many. They'll be recovered by tomorrow. Izuku. That's good to hear. Kyoka. Anyway, I can't believe what kind of rewards comes out of your subconscious. Currently stepping on Yuki's crotch. Izuku. This seems more like a punishment than a reward. Yuki. I don't know why it's like this. This continued for 5 minutes. Kyoka. Now that the reward is done, let's go on with what happened. Izuku. What happened was that you lost control over your emotions and raged out like a wild mindless Shuki. Says in a calm tone. Yuki. Izuku, that's rude. Kyoka. But it is the truth, you and I will talk personally later. Izuku. Agreed. Kyoka. Now back to business. Times KIP. Deku Pav. Izuku was walking around the dorm with his head down thinking about the previous encounter. Izuku. What happened to you Aoba? While he was walking he heard the sound of a chainsaw roaring. He looks to see Yuki in a towel running away from a mad Hamari with a chainsaw arm. Izuku. So much for peace and quiet. Goes to stop Hamari from killing Yuki. As Izuku hold back Hamari, a portal opens out of nowhere. Instinctively he puts his guard up until you see 2 women walk through. The first one had short blonde hair, a beautiful smile and a gorgeous face. Her existence screams best girl energy. The second one had the same hair color as Hamari and already gave arrogant bratty vibes. Izuku. Who are you? His guard still up. Yuki. Intruders. Hamari. No, they're the members of the 6th unit. Tenka aka best girl era. The 7th Squad's dorm as lively as ever. She looks at Izuku and Yuki. Izuku lowered his guard down and saw 4 more figures walking out the portal. To say he was stunned by the surprise is an understatement, as one of them with a horn just run and hugged Izuku's legs crying tears of joy. Izuku. Eri. Trying to hold it together. Eri. Papa. Still hugging him while crying. Question mark question mark question mark. Slash question mark question mark question mark. Midoriya-kun, Mosshead, simpleton. Also trying to hold back their tears. Izuku looks up to see 3 people he knew all too well. The first one had a voluptuous and mature body, despite being the same age as Izuku, with a Mato uniform with large holes in it on specific areas that fitted her perfectly. She had long black hair tied into a ponytail. She had her hand over her mouth with watery eyes. She was someone who Izuku knew was one of the smartest women he knew. The second one had a normal cute tea-suiter build. On both of her ears were aux cords with jacks in them. She had short purple hair and her uniform had speakers sewed into it. She was in a state of shock and happiness when she saw her moss head. The last, but certainly not least, one had a monocle on her left eye. She had long white hair and had a mature body as well. She was too shocked to even speak when she saw Izuku. Izuku, Momo, Kyoka, Saiko. They all run and hugged Izuku as well. While this was happening, Tenka looked back at the sight. Tenka, aka best girl, guess Yakiho wasn't the one to have a reunion. She looks at Yakiho, who kept her gaze at Himari. Tenka then turned to Yuki. Tenka, aka best girl, cutie, could you please go get Kyoka for me? Yuki. Oh, right. Leaves to get Kyoka. Both units are in the lounge area with Momo, Kyoka, Saiko and Yakiho behind best girl Tenka, who was drinking a cup of coffee made by Izuku and Yuki, and with Yuki, Shushu, Nei, Ochako, Melissa, Mei, Izuku and Himari behind Kyoka. Tenka aka best girl era, your slaves make a mean cup of coffee, and they're cute. At this point you know I'm a Tenka simp, but am I wrong though? She is best girl. Yuki tries to hide his blush while Ochako, Melissa and Mei hug Izuku while pouting, which made Momo, Kyoka and Saiko jealous. Kyoka. Tenka, why are you here? Tenka. You received a memo from the Supreme Commander, yes, the one regarding the appearance of those vicious humanoid Shuki. Places cup down. Usually our squadrons operate independently, but the Demon Defense Force aims to be more cohesive now. Kyoka. Is that so? Says while smirking. Yakiho. I heard a rumor that 7th Squad's Vice Capitan fainted when attacked by the humanoid Shuki. How pathetic. You're determined to drag the Azuma's family reputation, aren't you? Give up and come home already. Himari said nothing but clenched her fist, to which Izuku noticed and could relate to how Himari felt. Izuku. Himari. Tenka. To be fair, those Shuki aren't exactly weak. Kyoka. The 3rd Squadron had a run-in with them too, right? Tenka. Yep, not 1 but 2 times. Kyoka. Strength in numbers, us working together would be smart. Yakiho. We find your presence at battle reassuring, Miss Kyoka, but some of us are a bit hesitate to our trust into your entire team. I won't name any names, but some of us think that she might slow us down. Himari was about to burst with impotent rage until Izuku said, Izuku. You talk a lot of crap for someone in same boat as her. Everyone then looked at Izuku, some with shocked expressions, some with smirks on their faces and one who was pissed off. Yakiho. What did you just say? Izuku. I mean you haven't even seen them yet, you talk like you already beat them, talk about arrogance at its finest. Momo. He's not wrong there. Nodding her head. Saiko. Agreed. Nodding her head. Kyoka. Mosshead spitting facts. Nodding her head. Ochako. Melissa and Mei also nodded their heads, knowing Izuku spoke from experience. Himari was shocked by Izuku's remark towards Yakiho. She always hated how her family humiliated her, but to see someone like Izuku standing up to Yakiho, it made her feel something. Yakiho. Who are you to talk like that to an Azuma? Before she could finish her sentence, tendrils made of black energy wrapped around her mouth, sealing it shut. This action caught Tenka off guard, recalling seeing those tendrils before. Tenka. Well now, guess we finally know what you look like, Mr. Emerald Devil. Izuku. Guess you could say that. Sorry about last time, hope I didn't leave any permanent damage. Tenka. Nothing that couldn't heal. I didn't know Kyoka tamed such a monster. Izuku. Oh no, she didn't do crap. I came here willingly to keep an eye on his sorry butt. Points at Yuki while trying not to swear in front of Nei and Eri. Yuki. Hey, Tenka. I see, so does Mr. Emerald Devil have a name? Izuku. Izuku. Izuku mi Wakura. Momo, Kyoka and Saiko were shocked to hear Midoriya change his name. Kyoka. Well, now that everything is calm, well almost, I have a proposal. She nods at Izuku. Release Yakiho. Tenka. Kyoka. We need to assess the current capabilities of our teams. Tenka. Oh, and what do you propose? Kyoka. How about we have an inter-squad exhibition match? Himari. Yuki and Izuku look at Kyoka surprised. Izuku knew what an exhibition match was due to his travels to Mato as his Emerald Devil persona, Keeping himself from a distance, he saw a barrier the size of Class 1A dormitories with two people fighting in an improvised ring. It reminded about the sport festival. Izuku looked at Kyoka and saw a mild smirk, causing him to smirk too. Izuku. I see you're Kyoka, you want Himari to prove herself to Yakiho that she earned her title of vice captain. But at Himari's current level her emotions will get the better of her, so I may have to help, also. Izuku looks to see Ochako, Melissa and Mei lock eyes with Momo, Kyoka and Saiko, all fired up eyes and auras. Then they looked at Izuku all at once. These girls want to show how much stronger they are now, and it looks like I'm the practice dummy. Yakiho. Oh, Kyoka. Does single combat sound good? Tenka. You're never been one to mince words, have you, Kyo? Fine by me. Momo. If we may, the girls and I have a request. Momo was at the side of the table along with Ochako, Melissa, Mei, Kyoka and Saiko. Ochako. We want to have a 6v1 against Deku-kun. This caught the attention of Izuku, Tenka and Kyoka. Melissa. We want to prove to Izuku that we've gotten stronger since the Shigaraki attack. Mei. We want to show how our training pays off. Saiko. Plus we want to know if the moron can handle 6 women. Says with a cocky tone. Except for Tenka, Kyoka and Izuku, the others were shocked to hear this. Then Izuku decided to be a smartass and said, Izuku. Wow, if you girls wanted me that much, we could have went to my room. Smirks after saying that. Then Yuki and Shushu started laughing. Tenka and Kyoka were slightly surprised but also chuckled a little. Yakiho is still pissed at Izuku, Eri and Nei were confused, and Himari was blushing and was slightly jealous for some reason. Because after Izuku's pickup line, Ochako, Melissa, Mei, Kyoka, Saiko and Momo became a blushing mess with spiral eyes mixed with hearts. Each one daydreaming of Izuku pinning them and fucking them stupid. While those 6 were daydreaming of Izuku fucking them like a wild animal in heat, the real Izuku also mentioned. Izuku. I'll be joining Himari in her match against Yakiho. Tenka, Kyoka, Himari and Yakiho were taken by surprise from this. Tenka. Era, why exactly? Curious about the reason. Izuku. At her current state she doesn't have a chance against Yakiho and she knows that, so I'm going to help as much as I can. Plus I want a piece of the action. Smirks. TIMESKIP. After that, Izuku was approached by Himari. Himari's sad face trying not to blush. Why did you do that? Izuku. Because from what I can tell, you and your family have issues, so I've decided to help. Himari. Well, if we're doing this, points her finger at Izuku, then you will be my slave. Izuku. Partners. Himari. What? Izuku. If we're going to this, we're partners, not master and slave, partners. Himari. She then leaves the room with Izuku being the only one there. TIMESKIP to Himari and Izuku in the jeep. Izuku. So what's the deal between you and your sister? It more like bad blood than sibling rivalry. Himari. Sigh, I was born into a well-flavored family, all the women and men being high achievers, so I was expected to follow their footsteps. Himari stopped talking, wondering why she started to open up willingly to this guy. Himari. Why do you seem so interested? Izuku's sad face takes a moment to remember how bad he had it in his old life. I guess because I see myself in you. Himari. Huh, Izuku. Don't worry about it. Anyway, your ability is called learning, right? How exactly do you learn someone else's peach ability? Himari. With this, pulls out her phone with a trading card of Kyoka on it. I scan someone with my phone and download their ability into me. Izuku. Well, this makes my theory seem possible. Times KIP. 10 minutes later. Himari and Izuku hop out the jeep. Himari holds her hand out to Izuku. Izuku. Just so we're clear, the drawback of slave is physically demanding, so whatever happens is out of our control. Grabs her hand and kissed it. Suddenly a bright light blinded Himari for a moment, but once it dimmed down, Izuku's transformation left Himari in a mixed state of awe, shock and fear. Himari. Whoa, Izuku. Huh, I feel slightly stronger and faster than usual when I'm not using OFA at all, but... Looks at a Shuki running at him. Izuku, slave form, smosh. Izuku throws a punch towards the Shuki, destroying it as well as making a small crater. Hamari look at him, astonished, then jump onto his back, grabbing a hold of his chain. Hamari. Now let's see what this form can do. Izuku, slave form, right. Later. Hamari undid the transformation and we see Izuku slightly out of breath. Hamari. Well done, now we come up with a game plan to bet Yakiho. Izuku. Yeah, but I think we have something else to deal with. Looks away, trying to be respectful. Hamari. Huh, she looks down and saw she was flashing her panties to Izuku unwillingly. Wah wah, what the hell? Izuku. Guess it's the same for you as well. I did tell you that it was physically demanding. Everything went same as the show except replace Yuki with Izuku. Times KIP. The ride back was awkward and quiet. Until Izuku broke the silence. Izuku. Look, know what happened just now was something, but if you're still interested I have another idea for you. Hamari. Like what? Still blushing from what just happened. Izuku. Scan me. Hamari. Huh, Izuku. Scan me. Hamari. Huh, Izuku. Scan me to learn my abilities. Hamari. Why do you seem like you're trying to use me for something? Looks at Izuku, who has a curious expression on his face. Izuku. You got me. After Kyoka told everything about your ability, I start to wonder if my powers could also be learned. Although what he said was true, he left out the key curiosity. Izuku. Ever since that hybrid Nomu, Shuki attack I started to wonder, do Peach abilities and quirks have the same properties when it comes to transference? Hamari's sad face stopped the jeep and hops out. Okay, let's try it. Izuku. Alright, do I need to remove my clothes or something? Said with a teasing tone. Hamari's sad face, blushing, just stay still. Takes out her phone and scans him. Hamari looks at her phone and saw that it's compatible with her, but unlike the other abilities she's learned, this one was different, starting with the trading card image. Less than NEW ability learned greater than. Less than power. 1 for all greater than. Less than additional traits. Greater than. Less than 1. Gearshift. Locked greater than. Less than 2. FA Jin. Locked greater than. Less than 3. D Anger Sense. Locked greater than. Less than 4. Black Whip. Available greater than. Less than 5. Smokescreen. Locked greater than. Less than 6. Float. Available greater than. Less than 7. Stockpile. Available greater than. Less than 8. Locked greater than. FYI, I will be nerfing Hamari's version for OFA since it's neither a copy nor the original, so her at full cowl 100% is equal to Izuku AT 20% full cowl. Hamari was shocked. Unlike the other squad member abilities she's learned, this had levels to it, with 6/8 being locked for some reason. She looked to Izuku asking, Hamari. What exactly are you? Izuku. I ask myself that every day. Said with a bitter tone. Izuku then recalls all the stuff he did during the war and vigilante arc, how many victims he killed, how both the people and villains feared him. He snapped out his depressed nostalgia and said, Izuku. Now let's head back to the dorms before the others get worried. Hamari. Yeah, times KIP. 7th Squad Dormitory. When Izuku and Hamari returned, Izuku went straight to the kitchen to make dinner with the help of Blackwhip. Meanwhile in the living room Hamari was trying to understand why Kyoka's ability had such indecent drawbacks, so she went to Kyoka's office where Kyoka, Ochako, Melissa and May were to get answers. Earlier. Kyoka's office. Kyoka. Okay, now that I've you here I need to know, what exactly happened in your previous life, because reports came in that a Shuki hybrid corpse was found resembling a male human body, and since Izuku is with Hamari training, you three are the only ones who knows what this means. So. Melissa took a look at the folder and saw the horrific pictures of the corpse. Ochako knew all too well what this means. Ochako. It means we have a much bigger problem than Shuki's to worry about. Kyoka. What do you mean? Before she could finish her sentence, Hamari enters. Hamari. Commander, is the drawback of your ability really so indecent? Why are the rewards so lewd? Is what you do with Yuki, Looks around, saw Ochako, Melissa and May sitting on the couch with Kyoka. Hamari. Is something wrong? Kyoka. Glad you're here, I take it that training with Izuku went successful. Hamari. About that, why are the rewards so indecent? Ochako. What do you mean by indecent? Melissa May. Yeah. Kyoka sad face, sigh, the price of my ability is that after undoing the transformation the slave is offered a reward, in which my body moves on its own and I have no choice but to oblige. So I take it that it's the same with you. Hamari didn't answer but her face was red. Ochako, Melissa and May then realized what she meant and were jealous but for different reasons. Smirk. Kyoka. Anyway Hamari, can you close the door and join us? You need to see this. The door closes and we move back to Izuku, who finished making dinner. He was now in his room laying down on the bed until a voice called out saying, "You know what you are, a monster who thinks he can start new life without recalling the past." Izuku. I was wondering when you opened that big mouth of yours. I looks to the mirror and saw his reflection but completely different. Izuku. Why did you decide to talk now? Cause someone decided it would be a good idea to share our power with a girl who already has a lot of powers. Izuku. My power, and I didn't share it, I let her learn it, I still have one for all. And yet you were willing to help her by being her slave. Izuku. Partners. Says while frying steak. You and I both know that won't stop him from finding you, he knows he can find easily, so why? Izuku. 'Cause she reminds me of myself. Is it wrong to help a partner who's in trouble? Just remember, the only way to fight a monster is to become one. Words you took seriously, so don't think you can start fresh so easily. See you soon. Fades to black, then Izuku's reflection returned to normal. Izuku. See y'all later, ya creepypasta reject. Nay. Mr. Izuku, who are you talking to? Izuku turns around to see Nay with a mini apron on. Izuku. Adorable. No one. Just myself. What are you doing here? Nay. As your superior, it's Nay's job to help her junior in any way possible, so I here to help. Smiles cutely. Izuku was trying his best to stay alive after the cuteness attack from Nay. He regained his composure then looked at Nay. Izuku. If Eri and Nay teamed up, I'd die from cuteness right there and then. Thanks, I could use all the help I can get. TIMESKIP bathhouse. After dinner, Izuku was alone in the bathhouse, reminiscing all the events that happened on his patrols, the Shuki Nomu hybrid, the people randomly going missing. He was certain that it was him. Danger sense randomly goes off again, but he looked around, no one was there. It was the third time this week. He was too deep in thought to notice the door open with 3 figures walking out and close it. Until one said, "Hope you don't mind us joining you, Muscles," said in a slightly lustful tone. Izuku turned around to see Ochako, Melissa and May standing there with nothing but towels loosely wrapped around their naked bodies. Izuku was definitely shocked by this but was not about to turn them down. Izuku. Not at all. Pav. Hamari. During the whole bathhouse bash, on the other side of the dormitory, in Hamari's room, we see Hamari laying down on her bed in her underwear with no bra, recalling to the information she had received. Flashback. Hamari. Commander, is true that the drawback for the reward means that you're forced to do these indecent things unwillingly? She said while her face started to blush. Kyoka. Yes. Hamari. How can you put up with this? Is it the same thing with the other Wakura male? Kyoka. Yes. Ochako. Wait, what indecent rewards are you talking about? Kyoka. My peach ability slave allows me to put any being under my bidding, but the drawback is that after the transformation wears off my body is forced to give a reward, not matter how perverted. I have no control until the slave is satisfied. Since Izuku chose to be your partner, I assume the reward was the loot as well. Hamari said nothing, but the increasing blush on her face was more than enough for the girls to understand. Ochako, Melissa and May were jealous of Hamari, but they knew Izuku wouldn't do this willingly. They looked at each other and had the same thought. Ochako, Melissa, May. Tonight, we give our boyfriend a real rewarding punishment. Their eyes had small hearts on them. Kyoka. Back on topic, Hamari, look at these. Hands her multiple images. The images show a male corpse with multiple limbs as well as other horrific images. Hamari. What the hell? What happened to this male? Kyoka. That's what I was about to ask. I know you 3 have information about this because when I was going to ask Izuku, you instantly said not to, so tell me before I go to him and ask him myself. Kyoka gave them a stern look, waiting for them to answer. Ochako sighed and spoke first. Ochako. It's called a Nomu. There are many types of them. Some are mindless tools that attack recklessly while others have enough intelligence to communicate verbally. Melissa. We speak from experience, mostly Ochako. These things are no joke. They have multiple abilities that can vary depending on the body. Hamari. That explains what they can do, but it doesn't explain what they are. Kyoka. Ochako, you seem to be letting of more than you know. Why is this so important that you begged me not to mention this to Izuku? Ochako's sad face, sigh. Nomus are created when multiple abilities are forced onto someone all at once, forcing the victim's body to try and adapt to the quirks, turning them into monsters. Long story short, the Nomus are living corpses of their former lives. The worst part, they feel everything but can do nothing about it. Kyoka and Hamari were shocked. They dealt with Shuki and, even though they lost, humanoid Shuki, but this was what made them sick. Living corpses. Sounds ridiculous, but Kyoka knew that Ochako wasn't lying. But there was one question running through her mind. Kyoka. You said that these Nomu are created. Women I get, but how can a man turn into these things? These quirks, was it? Don't exist, and the only way to get powers is to eat a Mato peach, which only women can have, and they're only allowed one, so how can these men and women have multiple abilities? Kyoka and Hamari looked at Ochako. Melissa and may not have been with her, but after telling them everything, they knew what Ochako was going through. God knows what would happen if Izuku caught wind of this. Ochako had her hands on her knees, gripping them as she remembered the fight between Izuku and him. Ochako. All for one. Hamari. What's all for one? Never hearing that before. May. You mean WHO is all for one? Kyoka. Melissa. He was someone that had no remorse, no care for his allies, nothing. He sees everything as a game and his allies and enemies as pawns. His powers are not to be underestimated. Hamari. Why are making it sound like this male is some sort of god? What can he do that the entire demon defense force can't? She said in a forced arrogant tone, trying to hide her uneasiness. Ochako looks up and said with a straight face. Ochako. He can steal anyone's abilities and use however he please or pass it on to someone else, and there's no limit to how many he can take. This shook Kyoka and Hamari to the core. An ability that allows the user to steal and use other people's abilities with no limit to how many he can take. It was frightening. Ochako looked at Hamari and said, Ochako. Hamari, I know you don't like the rewards you're forced to give, but please, try to make Izuku use slave as much as you can. We don't want him to lose him. Hamari said nothing as it fades to black. End of flashback. Hamari is staring at her ceiling, recalling Ochako's request. Hamari. What did she mean by, lose him again? What does Izuku Wakura have to do with this all for one? She tried to shake it off and go to sleep. As Hamari sleeps, she wakes up to see that she's in the city but wasn't one she knew. She looked around and saw two groups protesting against each other. On one side, there were men and women holding up signs while chanting less than kill the freaks greater than, while on the other side, there were also men and women, but they were different. Some had different features, some had multiple limbs, some had horns and tails and other features out of a fantasy world, etc. Hamari looked confused. She tried to move, was stuck in place. She looked down and saw that she was naked. The only thing covering her was blue energy mist. Hamari. What happened? What is this place? Who are these people, and why am I naked? Hamari was about to turn around until a voice that a chill down her spine spoke out to her. This is most surprising. Hamari turned around to see a man in a suit with snow-white hair, red eyes, and an aura that made anyone who felt it stay dead still with fear. Hamari couldn't even move even if she wanted to. Hamari. Who is this guy, and why is my body telling me to run away from him? You're not a user and you have one for all. Well, an inferior, weaker version of it, yet somehow you are connected. Opening parenthesis question mark. Reached his hand out towards Hamari's face. Hamari was desperately trying to move, but it was futile. Let's get some answers. Just as hope seemed lost, the blue energy mist surrounding Hamari repelled against and consumed Hamari's vision. When she could see again, she saw 9 chairs in front of her, one more different than the rest. Then a frail man on one seat spoke and said, Sorry it took so long. My name is Yoichi. We have a lot to talk about. Just then 3 other figures showed up. One was bald and had goggles on his head, making him look like the human ripoff of Hellboy. One was a beautiful woman in a skin-tight suit showing of her slight muscular build with a cape, and the last one was a blonde man, muscles that put bodybuilders to shame, with a smile plastered on his face. Banjo. Well, the kid definitely stunned by this. I know I am. Nana. As much as I like not being the only woman user, this should be impossible, right? All Might. Well, young Midoriya has done the impossible before, but having a connection without the real thing being transferred is alarming. Hamari couldn't make sense of what was happening, so she spoke out to them. In case you get confused, words in italics will mean muffled vocabulary. Hamari. What's going on? Who are you people? Who was that guy from before? And most importantly, why am I here? Yoichi. Ah yes, I suppose introduction are in order. I am Yoichi Shigaraki. Banjo. The name's Banjo, kid. Nana. Nana Shimura. All Might. Toshinori Yagi, but call me All Might. I see young Midoriya gave you one for all, but it's completely different, it's weaker than before. Hamari. Young Midoriya. You mean Izuku Wakura, but how do you know him? All Might. Because young Midoriya is my successor, young Azuma, and yes, we know who you are. Nana. As to where you are, this is the vestige space, and we need your help. Hamari. My help? With what? Banjo. With that. Points to the throne in the middle. In the middle was a throne, with someone sitting on it. The throne was made of corpses trying to claw out like they were running. The figure had a chain around its neck, its hands looked like claws, it had emerald green mist mixed with blood red surrounding it, but what stood out the most was its eyes. Eyes were dark green with red iris, they stared right at Hamari, who was at a loss for words. Yoichi. Ever since the Ninth's reincarnation, that thing showed up, cut our link to him and took its place on the throne. Banjo. Not to mention, it acts as a door, which is sealed shut, something is trying to keep us out. Nana. Then out of nowhere, a chain appeared around its neck, and a new link was made, thus bringing you here. All Might. I'm worried about him, this is nothing we've seen before. Just hope he's alright, Yoichi. Which leads us to here, we believe that the more times you use your ability, the seal breaks. Nana. It's also best not to tell Izuku, we fear that what is in him might hear this. Before Hamari could say something, her vision started to blur. As her vision fades to black, she looked at the throne one last time. She then woke up in her room, trying to remember what happened. Just then an image of Yakiho down talking her pop up. Hamari. I can worry about those visions later, right now I have a match to win. Hamari got up, changed and went to Izuku's room, slams his door open. Hamari. Wake up Wakura, we need to train in order to. She stopped mid-sentence as she saw Ochako, Melissa and May butt naked lying on top of Izuku, who was also naked, with his dick showing. Hamari saw this and started blushing profusely, she yelled. Hamari. Put some damn clothes on, pervert. Slamming the door and running to the entrance. While the scene she saw was indecent, she couldn't help but feel jealous for some reason. Hamari. Do I have feelings for him? Certainly not, right? Hamari remembered how he was willing to help her, this motivated her more to get stronger. Hamari. With or without Izuku, I'll win this battle, just you wait, Yakiho. It's the day of the exhibition match. Hamari wakes and draws her curtain to the side. Sunlight shining through her window, all the training was now going to be put to the test. Over by the entrance, a portal opens and out walked 7 girls, Tenka less than best girl greater than, Yakiho, Sahara, Momo, Kyoka, Psycho and Eri. Tenka less than G greater than. Today, we put our team's excellence to the test. Yakiho. We'll look good while taking a stylish victory in the bag. Momo. Time to put the efforts of our training. Kyoka. Let's hope Mosshead wasn't slacking during this. Psycho. Our strategy will be the key to our victory. It shifts to Hamari and Shushu walking towards the others until they ran into Yakiho. Hamari. Go ahead without me, Shushu. Shushu. You'll degrade Hamari, we'll be routing for you. She heads towards the front entrance. Hamari and Yakiho had the conversation like in the anime. The scene changes to Izuku, who's looking at his reflection, except this time, instead of showing his green hair and eyes, the reflection showed snow white hair and red eyes. Question mark question mark question mark. 2. Well, how much are you willing to show in 6v1 later? I do hope you use me in X this time. I know I'd like to have new abilities in my arsenal. Izuku. Oh great, Deku from Wish with the wrong color scheme is here. I know you and the wannabe horror monster want me to use it, but I'm not gonna. I'm not that anymore. Dark Deku. We'll see. The reflection changes back to normal. Izuku walks out to see Yakiho and Himari talking. He walks over to Himari. Izuku. Hey Himari, everyone's waiting for us outside. Yakiho. You're only delaying the inevitable, and you, points toward Izuku, I look forward to crushing your spirit as well as putting you in your place, you filthy freak. Izuku. I've been called worst, and trust me when I say this. Leans closer towards Yakiho's face. She then saw his eyes turn different color. One eye turned pitch black with a green dot and the other turned pure white with a red dot. And she was the only one who saw this. Dark Deku Izuku Deku. X, US working together is giving you mercy. Izuku's eyes turned to normal. He looked at Himari and said. Izuku. Come on, let's not keep the others waiting. With that, Himari and Izuku walk out, leaving Yakiho in the common area, but she was perplexed. The look in his eyes weren't of a man or even a human, but worse. Yakiho. What the fuck was that? Pav. Izuku and Himari. Izuku saw the look on Himari and tried to cheer her up. Izuku. Don't worry, we trained our asses off, we'll win this, partner. Himari chuckled Abbott, seeing how the man beside was right. Himari. For a slave, you're cocky, it's obvious that we're gonna win. Said with a smirk. Izuku. Partners, not master and slave. Himari. We'll see. Times KIP. Outside the two squads were staring down each other. Izuku and Himari joined them before the match started. Himari. Sorry we're late. Yakiho looked at Izuku, still wondering what the hell he was. Kyoka handed them a small wood plank. Kyoka. Write your names down. She handed them out to everyone. Yuki was confused by this but complied. Yuki. What are these for? Izuku. It's to trigger Jinabizen's ability. Yuki. Her ability. Kyoka. Yes, she can create a barrier by drawing a line on the ground that acts as a boundary, got cut off by Izuku. Izuku. And only those who signed their names can enter the barrier, as well as any damage sustained during combat inside the barrier will be healed. Tenka less than B. G greater than. My, you know a lot about her ability beforehand. Izuku. I kinda wanted to do more research on exhibition matches, so I asked Kyoka about them, hehe. Scratches the back of his head. Tenka less than B. G greater than was surprised that the infamous Emerald Devil had detailed information shared with him. It makes her wonder why Kyoka would willingly do so. Jina. Thanks for your patience, I'm Jinabizen of the 10th Squadron, I'll be the referee of today's inter-squad exhibition match. Does a slight bow before chanting. Jina. Jina's club. A bright light blinded everyone for a second, as the barrier began to form. Jina. My ability is a dream come true, I get to see the Demon Defense Force up close and personal. Some don't believe the Peaches grant powers based on the person's nature and knowledge, but I do. Tenka less than B. G greater than. This barrier can withstand the force of 1,000 Shuki. Kyoka. We're trusting you to judge this fight. Like a fangirl, Jina was overflowing with joy. Two of her idols commended her talents. Jina. Of course Lady 10, of course Lady Kyo, I'll give it my all. During this, Izuku and Yuki had confused expressions for different reasons. Yuki. Lady Kyo. Izuku. She's a Demon Defense Force fangirl. Jina. Huh, looking towards Izuku and Yuki giving of a frightening glare, well one was frightened. Yuki. Should have known she doesn't like men. Shaking. Jina looked at Izuku and saw that he was unfazed. The glare she used always had men shaking in their boots, however Izuku didn't care, in fact he matched the glare with his own for a split second. What she saw definitely scared her. Closing parenthesis. Izuku. Don't try to act scary, besides it ruins the adorable face you have. Hearing this Jina started blushing profusely, meanwhile Ochako, Melissa, Mei, Kyoka, Saiko, Momo and Himari stared at him with jealousy. Kyoka and Yuki sighed while Tenka less than B. G greater than giggled. Luckily the tension broke thanks to 2Bean's interruption. Nay. K, I'm all set. Holding up a banner Izuku's name on it. The several like those behind her each with a name from the 7th squad on them. Yuki. Did you make theses? Nay. Nay counts as a non-combatant, so her job is to cheer her teammates on. Izuku. These are amazing. Nay. Great work. Pats her head, making her smile. Eri. I'm ready now. Holds up a red banner with Go Papa written in green on it, clearly indicating who she was cheering for. Tenka less than B. G greater than. My, you're cheering for the opposition like it's your job. Eri. Because Papa is on it, and if Papa there he'll surely win. Jinna grabs a mic, screams. Jinna. Round 1, Himari Azuma vs Yakiho Azuma. The rules are that whoever gives up or gets knocked out first loses. Injuries will be healed, so don't hesitate to go all out. Yakiho was now staring down Izuku and Himari, the two doing the same to Yakiho. Yakiho. Once I win, I'm going to drag you two back home. You'll be my special servant while the freak will be a sperm donor to the Azuma's family. I'm sure Maya and Homer will enjoy breaking him. Himari remained silent until Izuku walked up to her. He puts his hand on her shoulder, giving her a nod. She smiled, remembering how hard she trained. Himari. I'm not the same person I was back then. We will win, Yakiho. Izuku grabbed Himari's hand, pulled it to his face and kissed it. A tornado of red, green and black erupted, shocking everyone. While this was happening, Himari had another vision. This time she saw two figures staring back at her. This time she had a good look at what they looked like. Picture the second one with snow-white hair, red eyes and wearing a tux. Himari. What the? Before she could finish her sentence, she snapped out of it as the transformation was complete. Those watching, including Yakiho herself, saw Izuku's new form. For some less than the Demon Defense Force members greater than, they were stunned by the monstrous look in front of them. For others less than the girls who knew him personally greater than were shocked but also sad, as the transformation is based on what the users feel deep within, like a monster. Himari. As part of my ability, Izuku's going to join me. Yakiho. Fine by me, I was itching to beat his ass up and drag him down with you. Denying a dog owner her dog is just cruelty. Jinna. Is everybody ready? Then let round 1 begin. Yakiho. I'm warning you two. You won't last a second against. Before she could finish speaking, Izuku, slave form, rushed Yakiho and punched her right in the face, sending Yakiho flying. Izuku, slave form, Detroit smash. Yakiho felt like a giant hammer made of rock slammed her. Yakiho. Where the hell did that come from? Grits her teeth in anger. Yakiho then does her activation pose, chanting. Yakiho. Golden hour, rewind 5 seconds. Time stopped, then it rewinded to 5 seconds earlier. Once done, Himari and Izuku noticed that Yakiho was already tired before the bell rang. Izuku, slave form, we already made her use her ability. The plan's working. Himari. We planned ahead in case we couldn't one-shot you. Izuku F lunged into the air. Yakiho. They changed tactics, now let's see if that was a fluke or not. Himari, you didn't realize my ability got stronger too. Yakiho locked on Himari and Izuku F, who are still in the air, almost like they're floating if not for gravity. Yakiho. It's a known fact that little sisters can't beat big sisters, I'll show you with prime time. Yakiho then pulls out a gun ready to fire. Himari Izuku F, a modded gun for use in Mato, so that's her main weapon. Yakiho. Leaping blindly into the air, makes you a sitting duck. Himari saw this, but before she could pull the chain and give her order, Izuku already shot straight at Yakiho, punching her right in the head again. Izuku F Texas smash. Yakiho eyes were pure white, blood left her mouth, but Izuku saw that she wasn't done. Yakiho does her activation pose and chants. Yakiho. Golden hour, rewind 5 seconds. Time rewinded back to where Izuku and Himari are in the air. Yakiho. An airborne kick to gain momentum, that's cutting it close, but, does her activation pose. If I activate my ability beforehand, they'll be within range when I freeze time. Yakiho then chants. Yakiho. Golden hour, freeze for 5 seconds. She aims her gun at them but saw that they weren't there. Yakiho. What, where did they go? She looked around until she found them and got the shock of her life. Izuku and Himari were on the other side of field, but that wasn't what shocked her. Yakiho saw that Himari was still frozen but Izuku was still moving in slow motion. Yakiho. How can he still move when time is frozen? Yakiho takes off running towards them just as her ability wore off. Izuku landed and turned around. Both he and Himari saw that the plan was working. Izuku F. Hold on tight Himari, stick to the plan. Izuku runs circles around Yakiho, leaving the others watching in awe. Jinna. Incredible, they're faster than a speeding bullet. Is Himari trying to confuse her opponent? With Kyoka, Yuki, Shushu, Nei, Ochako, Melissa and Mei. Yuki. Holy, look at them go, I'm barely keeping track of them. Kyoka. This form relays on speed, but it looks like he's holding back, wonder why. Shushu. Wow, Himari and Broccoli Hair are giving their all. Wonder what they do next. Nei. Izuku, Himari, Izuku, Himari. Jumping up and down cheering them on. Ochako. Have to say, it's kinda slow compared to what I've seen before. Melissa. Agreed, but it's still impressive though. Mei. I wonder what would happen if we used him while he's like this. That question lingered in the three girls' head for a while. With Tenka less than G greater than, Sahara, Momo, Kyoka, Psycho and Eri. Sahara's sad face yawns. Yakiho looks like she's having trouble. Tenka. Indeed, not to mention how much the Emerald Devil is holding back in terms of speed. Eri. Let's go Papa, let's go. Jumping up and down cheering for her adopted dad. Momo. Well, we know who Eri's gonna cheer for when our match starts. Kyoka. Can't blame her though, Mosshead is the closest thing to her as family. Psycho. Let's hope he doesn't hold back. When we start, Izuku's POV. Izuku and Himari are still running circles around Yakiho, with Izuku increasing his speed. Izuku. I can feel it in my bones, how desperate Himari wants to win. Has flashback to her telling him her goal. Deku. X. We know the last person to be considered a hero is you. Speaking telepathically. Dark Deku. After all, we're here because of her resurrection process. Also speaking telepathically. Izuku F. I know I can't be a hero anymore, but if I can help someone like this. Runs faster as green sparks starts forming around Himari and Izuku. I'll help her win. Unbeknownst to Izuku, Himari was having her own telepathic conversation. All Might. Young Midoriya looks determined to help you, young Azuma, I'm glad he still has his heroic will. Speaking telepathically. Himari. Wait, how are you talking to me right now? And why do you keep saying young Midoriya? His name is Wakura. Speaking telepathically. Nana. Best to focus on winning first. Just be careful, we sense the seal slowly cracking. Back to the match, Izuku leaps into the air behind Yakiho. She turns around and aims her gun at them. Himari. Now, pulls the chain. Izuku leaps up above, then dashes toward Yakiho, but she dodges at the last second. Izuku starts doing the same thing again but from different angles. Yakiho. You petulant brats. Himari. We threw her off, just like we planned. Izuku continues to run circles around Yakiho, the green sparks increasing in quantity around him. Himari looks at Izuku. Himari. Wakura. No, Izuku, he's putting everything on the line to help me, more than I expected him to, despite everything that has happened between us before. Gets a flashback to him standing up for her when Yakiho down-talked Himari. Making her blush. I have to apologize for giving him a rough time, all the more reason why we have to win. She then looked at Ochako, Melissa and Mei, started wondering. Maybe I should ask them if I can join as his lover. Wait, what am I thinking? He's my partner, though it doesn't sound so bad. Izuku starts running past Yakiho, delivering drive-bys, remembering the ability that Yakiho possessed, as well as the weaknesses. Izuku. Golden Hour can't activate instantly, her JoJo pose activates it, depending on our position when she moves I either attack or retreat, also I can tell whether she used it or not from her behavior, if she's suddenly tired, it means that she rewound time. Yakiho starts shooting them, but Izuku was too fast. Izuku. But something's off, She's still grinning, like she knows what our plans are. Stay focused, Izuku. Yakiho's grin grew more menacingly. Yakiho. I knew you're trying to make me drain my ability. I figured out your plans and logistics. I'll drag them back home and make Himari's life a living hell. As for the male, Grandma can do whatever, after I'm done putting him in his place. Yakiho raises her gun and says, Yakiho. Time to play my trump card. She starts doing a weird pose, chanting, Yakiho. Prime time. Freeze for 10 seconds. After that, time froze everything, except Izuku was still moving, but slower. Yakiho took advantage of the situation. She ran towards them and starts firing. The bullets were heading straight for Himari, but before they closer, Izuku shielded Himari, taking the hit. Yakiho. Still able to move while time was frozen. Impressive, but this is where it ends. Time resumed, revealing to everyone that Izuku has bullet holes while shielding Himari, surprising everyone. Both Himari and Izuku fell, hitting the floor hard. Jinna. What just happened? Himari turned up the heat but now is down for the count, and the man is looking good either. He took most of the hits for Himari. Himari struggling to get up, wondering what just happened. Yakiho. Prime time. I double the time I control when striking the ultimate pose. Downside being it took a few seconds longer to activate, but at that distance I knew you'd dodge my attack, but I'm impressed. The good-for-nothing male instantly shielded you while time was still frozen. Looks at Izuku who has bullet holes on his arms and back. Himari. But how did you, struggling to recover? Yakiho. I'm a genius who gets smarter over time, not including that in your plans was your downfall. Himari couldn't believe it. Was all the training they did mean nothing? She didn't know what to do. On the spectator's side, Nei and Eri looked at Izuku who wasn't moving. They knew something like this wouldn't stop him so easily. But they were worried. Ochako, Melissa, Mei, Momo, Kyoka, Saiko. Deku-kun, Izu, Muscles, Zuzu, Mosshead, Izuku, please get up. All of them were worried why Izuku was lying on the ground while Yakiho was yapping. Yakiho continued to down-talk Himari, telling her to give up. Himari had tears flowing down her cheek. Himari. It's happening again, all my efforts in vain. I'm sorry. Izuku was about to quit until Izuku s. F you really are dumb, if you think that's all we got, you Jojo Kurumi ripoff. Izuku got up in front of Himari, staring down Yakiho. The 7th squad was relieved to see Izuku back on his feet. He turned to Himari. Izuku s. F she's trying to scare us, look at her face, she's exhausted, in fact she can't use it again. Himari looked at Yakiho and saw that Izuku was right. Izuku s. F quitting when we're so close to winning, come on partner, pull yourself together, don't be an idiot now. Himari. You're also running out of steam, and you got a smart mouth on you even if we're partners. Himari jumps onto Izuku's back and grabs his chain. I'll punish you when this is done. Jinna. She's up. Himari was nearly down and out but she's back on her feet. Is this the grand finale approaching at last? Yakiho. Time to end this. Izuku s. F Himari, you know what to do. Himari. Right. Izuku charges straight towards Yakiho. Yakiho. Golden hour. Before she could finish, Izuku's transformation was cancelled, blinding Yakiho. Yakiho. I can't see, but I already struck a pose. She chants. Yakiho. Rewind 5 seconds. Time stopped. She aims her gun. It's over. But what she saw wasn't Izuku in his slave form but him in his human state. What shocked Yakiho more was that he was still moving towards her with a fist covered in lighting. Yakiho. Wah, how are you still moving? Izuku. You were so focused on Himari, you let your guard down. Cocks his punch back. Now how about, you grit those teeth. Punches Yakiho right in the face. Yakiho tried shooting him but Izuku wasn't slowing down. As time resumed, a bullet shot Yakiho in the side of her neck right before Izuku punched the other side, creating a crater, launching Yakiho into the wall. Everyone was shocked, as they saw Himari was the one who shot Yakiho as well as the crater Izuku made with a punch. Izuku's sad face coughs out blood, as more bullet holes were shown. How's that for a beat down? He is still standing despite the injuries. He raises his arm up to sky in victory. Jinna. Can it be? Hamari's sad face saw what Izuku was doing and decided to do the same. She raised her hand up to the sky in victory. Jinna. Hamari Azuma is the winner. Shushu and Nei were congratulating Hamari. But the others were more focused on Izuku, as he was still moving despite being shot multiple times. Back with Hamari and Izuku, Hamari looks at Izuku and saw he was bleeding with multiple bullet holes and coughing blood. She ran towards him trying help. Kyoka. There's no need to worry. Izuku paused. Izuku was trying to walk but nearly tripped. Hamari ran over to help him along with Jinna. Izuku. I'm fine, but thanks. Jinna. Don't worry. A green glow surrounded Izuku. Normally injuries like theses are fatal, but since you sustained them inside my barrier, they'll heal up good as new. Later all the bullet holes were fully healed, however some left scars on him. Jinna. There, you should be clear to move again. Izuku. Thank you, Bizen-san. Izuku giving Jinna his unbeatable smile. Jinna saw it and was flustered. She hated guys yet this was different. Jinna. Why you're welcome. She runs back to the center before anyone saw her blushing. Izuku looked at his shirt, saw it was ruined with bullet holes. Hamari wasn't paying attention because she remembered when Izuku shielded her from get shot. Once she snapped out of it, she hit Izuku on his healed back, telling him to get of. Hamari. You're back to normal, no need to lean on me now. Izuku. Yeah, but it's not like you didn't enjoy feeling my back. Did ya? Trying to tease Hamari. However Hamari smiled and looked away. Izuku then felt his throat. Izuku. Man, I'm thirsty, I need a drink. Hamari. Running around like that would do that to you. Offers her hand. Izuku saw this and reached for it. Yakiho on the other hand, while she was being treated, she had glimpses of Izuku on replay. She was stumped. What exactly is this guy? He could still move despite being shot. He somehow had powers, but most importantly, he didn't hesitate to protect Hamari from her attack. Yakiho looked at the two of them and saw how happy Hamari was. She remembers all the stuff she did as kids. Yakiho. I really am a terrible sister, huh? Hamari. Let's get something to drink. Izuku. Yeah. As Izuku and Hamari walked, Yakiho called out to them. Yakiho. Hold it you two. Izuku and Hamari stopped. Izuku turned around looking Yakiho dead in the eyes. Izuku. What do you want? We won the match. Hamari turned around to Yakiho. Both locked eye contact for a while. Yakiho. You've gotten stronger. I'll admit, I'll be sure to treat you better. You're ready to join the Azuma family again, right? Come home, Hamari. Hamari was shocked. She didn't know what to say. But Izuku did. Izuku. A little too late for that. Hamari is needed here. She's a part of the 7th Squad unit. She's already home. Those words made Hamari's heart pound faster than usual. Hamari was nothing but mean to Izuku yet he stood by her every time. Hamari. Izuku right. This is my home. There's nothing you can say to change that. Yakiho turned to stone from that response. Hamari and Izuku walked to the dorms to get a drink, leaving stone Yakiho all alone. Times KIP. Izuku and Hamari were in the kitchen. While Hamari was looking through the fridge, Izuku took a good look at her. Izuku. You know, you look really beautiful with your hair straight down like this. Hamari started blushing profusely. She grabbed a bottle and started drinking. But she didn't swallow. She grabbed Izuku's head, leaned in and kissed him, sharing the water. They stayed kissing for several minutes. Until, Izuku. So that's my reward, huh? Izuku saw Hamari's face. She's so cute. Hamari. Guess it's starting. Meanwhile, Yakiho and Tenka less than B. G greater than. Tenka less than B. G greater than. I hope you treat this as a learning experience. Yakiho. Huh. Tenka less than B. G greater than. If what you said is true, the slave form is holding him back. I've seen him in action firsthand, so I'm curious why he would put up with this. Back with Izuku and Hamari. The two were still at it. Izuku wrapped his arms around Hamari's waist while she wrapped hers around his neck. Hamari. Cause of you, you helped me beat my sister. Izuku. Gee, thank you. Leans in closer. Izuku. Hamari. Hamari. This isn't part of the reward, I'm truly sorry. Izuku leans closer towards Hamari, kissing her lips. They continued this for a while. When they stopped, Izuku said, "Izuku, you don't have to apologize we're partners, I'll always help you, even if you don't want me to." Smiles at her. Hamari's feelings toward Izuku grew even more. She clinged onto him and continued kissing. Hamari. Maybe being in a relationship with him wouldn't be so bad. They continue kissing until it fades to black. Later on, Shushu had her fight with Sahara. She lost. Sad, Shushu went inside, with Yuki going after her. Now it's the 6v1. Jinna. Hold on, I know he's strong and all, but 6v1, exhibition matches are meant for members, not guys, not to mention 6 versus 1 is kinda unfair. Tenka less than B. G greater than. Well, this man is special, I'd like to see what he can do. Kyoka. Agreed, I've never seen him fight with his powers before, this will be interesting. Jinna. Okay, if Lady Kyo and Lady Ten want it, they shall have it. Jinna grabbed the mic and said, Jinna. The next match is about to begin. It's a 6v1, so the opposition needs a miracle. On the left side, we have 3 members from each team, Ochako Uraraka, Melissa Shield, Mei Hatsume, Momo Yaoyorozu, Kyoka Jiro and Psycho Intelli. The 6 girls were ready. Momo made a shield and a short staff, Psycho had some metal gloves, Kyoka plugged her earlobe aux cords into her gear, Mei had her goggles and backpack full of inventions, Melissa had AR glasses and wrist blasters, and Ochako had some stones floating around her. Jinna. And on the right side, the Izuku Wakura from the 7th Division. How is he going to handle this? To the spectators. Nay. Will Mr. Izuku be okay? Nay knows he's strong, but 6v1 is a lot. Hamari. I'm worried about him too, his wounds are still recovering, is he going to be alright? Hamari was genuinely worried about Izuku. Kyoka knew he would be fine. Kyoka. Let's see what you 7 got. Eri. Papa's gonna win. Yakiho. You sure have a lot of confidence for the guy. Tenka less than B. G greater than. Now, let's what you're capable, Mato's devil. Back to Izuku. Izuku was loosening his muscles, he was shirtless, showing off his scars and stretching his muscles. He knew the girls don't want him to hold back, but he couldn't bring himself to do it. Izuku. Alright Izuku, just dodge their attacks until they get exhausted. Jinna. Now let the 6v1 begin. Jinna. Let the 6v1 begin. And with that, the girls unloaded everything they had. Ochako was throwing boulders at him. Melissa and Mei were using their inventions to try and trap him. Kyoka was using her peach ability to their attacks dead silent. Momo created cannons firing at Izuku, and Psycho used her peach ability to give Izuku a headache to slow him down. It did absolutely nothing. Izuku kept dodging their attacks while enduring the headache Psycho was giving him. Izuku was impressed with their teamwork, but it's gonna take more than that to hit him. On the spectators' side, both teams, along with Jinna, were shocked by the display in front of them. Kyoka. He's being attacked on all fronts, but he's phased, he doesn't even look tired. Tenka less than B. G greater than. My, even facing 6 opponents, he's still holding back, he's not even attacking them back. Yakiho. Why the hell isn't he fighting back? He didn't hesitate to hit me. Pissed because he wasn't trying to fight. Sahara's sad face, yawn, half asleep, oh, he's still dodging. While the others commented on the fight below, Hamari kept her eyes on Izuku, more accurately, the numerous scars on him. She saw that Izuku had more scars than an experienced defense force member. Hamari. What happened to you? Back to the fight, Izuku was still dodging as well as complimented them on their efforts. Izuku. Wow, you also had with that one. Dodge a cannonball, you've gotten good at creating stuff on the fly, Yaomomo, but it's not enough. Continues dodging. The girls continued firing, until Kyoka shouted. Kyoka. Hold on, time out. This caused everyone to stop. Even the 6th and 7th units were surprised. Jinna. Kyoka Jiro called for a timeout. What exactly could she be doing? Nay. What's going on? Hamari. I don't know. Back in the ring, Izuku was puzzled. Izuku. What's up, Rockstar? Izuku held genuine confusion. Kyoka. I'll tell you what's up, you haven't even tried throwing any punches back at us, like what the hell? The girls looked at Izuku with a stern expression. Izuku started to feel shivers down his spine. Ochako. Kyoka's right, you've been dodging and dodging. Psycho. I would be disappointed if you did not take this seriously, Zuzu. Momo. Midoriya, it isn't nice to refuse a request from a girl you know. The girls basically put Izuku between an indestructible rock and a hard place. Izuku knew that if he went all out, he could accidentally hurt them badly, but he also knew the girls will be even more mad if he didn't take it seriously. Izuku's sad face, sigh, you sure about this? All 6 girls. Yes. Izuku. Fine, but don't say I didn't warn you. After he said that, the ground started shaking. A power surge started increasing. Everyone, including 3 people outside the barrier, could feel the power. Hamari. What the hell is happening? Kyoka. Looks like we finally get to see him in action. Yakiho. What the fuck, why is my body telling me to run away from him? Tenka less than B. G greater than, the real show's about to begin. Outside the barrier, there are 3 beings who felt that energy surge. Question mark question mark question mark. 1. What the hell, how can a PATEHTIC human possess such power? Question mark question mark question mark. 2. I don't know, but I'm intrigued to find out. Question mark question mark question mark. 3. It's best to see this out before we attack. Question mark question mark question mark. 1. Forget that, I'm going right now. Heads towards the barrier. Back inside the barrier, Izuku charged full cowl to 15% as well as activated BLACKWHIP around him, revealing his carnage form. This shocked everyone inside the barrier. Kyoka and Tenka weren't as surprised but were still shocked to see this form. Tenka less than B. G greater than. My, guess he lives up to the name Emerald Devil after all. Kyoka. This is the first time I've seen him so serious, wonder what's going to happen now. Sahara was actually wide awake when she saw Carnage Deku, she was definitely stunned as well as terrified. Yakiho had a similar reaction except she was more composed. Sahara. Huh, what happened to him, he's straight out of a nightmare. Yakiho. He's not human, that's for sure. Hamari was the most shocked. Like Izuku turned into a monster at will, something inside her said don't aggravate it. Her hands started shaking. Hamari. Why won't my hands stop shaking, what is this thing? Jinna nervously grabbed the mic and said. Jinna. Looks like Izuku has played his trump card, will this scary form be enough to win? Izuku stood there, not breaking eye contact with the girls. Despite the immense aura and his monstrous look, Izuku was still holding back. The girls took a stance. Momo created swords and staffs for them. Carnage Deku. Making weapons are we, guess I'll join too. Izuku then used Black Whip to create a sword made out of pure energy. Izuku then lunges forward, but to everyone else it seemed like he teleported to them. He slashes at them but purposely missed. The slash created an air slice that hit the wall, leaving a large hole in it. May and Melissa returned fire, blasting him with stun shots, but he tanks them then speed blitz both of them, neck chop them into unconsciousness. Momo rushed him, trying to hit him with the staff. He blocked with his Black Whip sword hand, grabbed the staff and snapped it in half. Momo was stunned since the material she used was reinforced steel. But before she could react, Carnage Deku neck chopped her into unconsciousness. Leaving only Psycho, Kyoka and Ochako left. On top, the 2 units were shell-shocked by Izuku's speed. Yakiho. The hell, it's been 3 minutes after taking this seriously and he's already taken down half the opposition. Tenka less than B. G greater than. He's no joke, that's for sure. Kyoka. I wonder how he would fare against Commander Yamashiro, the 2 are similar in terms of powers. Hamari was having a telepathic conversation with Nana and All Might. Hamari. He's faster than he is with me, how much stronger is he? Nana. This isn't even close to him fighting seriously. Telepathic speaking. All Might. Agreed, young Midoriya is using only 3% of the full power. Telepathic speaking. Hamari was stunned by this, she wondered if she could become as strong as Izuku someday. Back to the fight, Psycho increased the headache inflicted on Izuku, Ochako used burden on him to slow him down, and Kyoka sends Soundwave Blast at him. Again, it was futile. Whatifdeku lunged forward towards them, only to speedblitz behind them. He made a thunderclap, creating a shockwave knocking them off their feet, and within 3 seconds, he neck-chopped them too, winning the match. Whatifdeku. Just to let you know, I wasn't going all out. After saying that, he deactivates Full Cowl and Black Whip. And with that, the victor was decided. Jinna. The winner is Izuku Wakura. Despite the number advantage, he was able to secure the win. Izuku grabbed all of the girls and brought them to Jinna, asking her if she could heal them, even though they sustained minor injuries. When Jinna saw him shirtless, she was having the nosebleed, seeing all the muscles, how well built he is. She regained her composure and attended to the unconscious 6. Meanwhile with Kyoka and NEI. 2. A spy? Wow, we just broke our cover, impressive. Smirks tell the others I said hello and that the battle begins now. Nei stepped back in fear. Nei. Who was that? Kyoka. What's wrong, did you see something? Down below, Izuku's danger sense went off, alert him that they had company. Just then multiple Shuki popped out from the ground, surrounding the barrier. Just as Ochako, Melissa, Mei, Kyoka, Saiko and Momo woke up. Hamari. Shuki, here. Izuku. This barrier will hold, right? Just as he said that the Shuki hit the barrier but it didn't break. Jinna. You can totally chillax, my barrier is impenetrable. Said proudly. Despite that, there was something else keeping Izuku on edge. Just then a large figure approached the barrier. Raren. This flimsy thing is a barrier. Everyone except for Izuku gasped in surprise. Hamari. A humanoid. Izuku. No, it's something else. Protect all non-combatants. Raren walks towards the barrier leaking out tremendous aura. Raren. The absurdity fills me, Raren, with thunderous laughter. He then headbutts the barrier, shattering it while laughing. Jinna was shocked. Jinna. No way, it cracked my barrier. Izuku. I think I speak for everyone by saying this, but the exhibition match is cancelled. With that, Izuku used Black Whip to grab everyone and rushed to safe ground. Raren. Repulsive pest, it's time you went extinct. Raren continued to mock them. Izuku got everyone to the dormitory. Izuku. Get inside, I'll handle this. Tenka take Melissa, Mei, Jinna, Eri, and Nei somewhere safe. Before everyone could object, Izuku was already gone. Dealing with the horde of Shuki. Kyoka grit her teeth and grabbed her sword. Kyoka. Everyone, prepare for battle. Tenka less than B. G greater than. I'll take them somewhere safe. Opens a portal. Jinna, Eri and Nei saw how Izuku didn't hesitate to protect them. That frightened Eri, knowing how far her papa will go to save someone. Eri. Please be safe, papa. Walks through the portal. Kyoka. The rest of us, help Izuku out, destroy every last Shuki. Hamari, Yakiho, Ochako, Momo, Kyoka, Sahara, Saiko. Right. Runs towards the Shuki. Izuku's paw. Izuku rushed towards the horde, charging Full Cowl to 45%, he was destroying them left and right. Izuku. This wasn't random, they were waiting for the order to strike, and the talking one must be the ringleader. Locked eyes on Raren. Danger sense went off as a giant Shuki was about to hit him. Right before, Kyoka. Let me handle this one. She leaps into the air and cut down the Shuki in half. Izuku. I told you girls to get inside. Kyoka. Since when were you giving orders? Shushu, Yuki. Commander, bro. Izuku and Kyoka turned to see Yuki and Shushu running towards them. Izuku. Took you guys long enough. Looks at Kyoka, if you're gonna help, help the others. Looks at Yuki, don't get yourself killed. Fist bump Yuki. Yuki. You too. Fist bump back. Izuku rushed through another horde trying to protect everyone. Kyoka's sad face looks at Shushu, can you fight? Shushu. Yup, paradigm shift. Grows bigger and bigger. Shushu started kicking the Shuki like a soccer ball. She was back to her cheerfully self, oblivious to the Shukis trying to jump her. Just then, Sahara drop kick one of them, saving Shushu. Sahara. Take this. Kicks one of them away and lands on Shushu's shoulder. Don't let up. Just then an air blast flew past them taking out the other Shuki. They saw it was Izuku. He was sparking all over while black whip tendrils popped out of his back. Izuku. Focus you two. Went back to slaughtering Shuki. Izuku was a Shuki killing machine. He was multitasking with protecting everyone and defeating the ringleader. Ochako, Momo and Kyoka were holding their own, preforming tag team combos. Raren was looking around for something. Raren. Not here. Walks away. Hamari. Going somewhere. I'm your opponent. Turns her right arm into a minigun and shoots Raren. Raren blocks them with his hand, laughing at Hamari. Raren summons a lightning airstrike onto Hamari. Hamari closed her eyes, waiting for the hit, but it never came. When she opened them, she saw that she was saved by Izuku, who was carrying her princess style. Izuku. Hey Hamari, this guy bothering you? Hamari. Izuku. Looks at Raren, he's tougher than he looks. Izuku. Yeah. Looks behind to see Kyoka and Yuki, slave form, then back at Hamari. Hamari. Join Kyoka and Yuki. I'll buy you time. Hamari's sad face nods and runs towards them. Now it Raren vs Izuku, false god versus man-made devil. Raren. Interesting, you're not one of the targets, but your powers are intriguing enough for me to fight seriously. Izuku. Glad I made a good impression, but now I'm mad. You tried hurting someone close, you're gonna regret that. Suddenly he cracked the dial beyond the limit. The ground shook as a hurricane of multicolored lightning formed around Izuku. Izuku. One for all, Ultra Cowl, 100%. Izuku's power level skyrocketed, infuriating Raren. Raren. How can a pathetic mortal like you have such power? Izuku. I'm just warming up. Cocks his punch back, then punches Raren right in the jaw. Raren got launched a few feet away from Izuku, starting spitting flames from his mouth. Literally. Raren. Take this. The fireball connected with Izuku, but did minimal damage. Raren was all fired up, ready to kill him. Izuku's sad face smirks, let's rumble. Izuku and Raren were duking it out. Raren spamming fireballs and lighting bolt, while Izuku bob and weave. The more hits they landed, the harder they hit back. The force of their punches created shockwaves. Izuku punched Raren right in the gut, causing Raren to cough blood. Raren. Blood, this insect made me cough blood. Meanwhile with Hamari, Kyoka and Yuki. Yuki unlocked his eternal chains. War cloud form, Hamari and Kyoka are riding on top of him as Yuki lets out, howling blast. Hamari. Amazing, this is the power of two masters. Kyoka. We can wipe out the horde now much quicker. Hamari. But what about Izuku? Kyoka. He'll be fine, the 6th squadron has Tenka. Tenka's less than best girl greater than Pav. Tenka is on top of the guard tower where Nei, Eri, Psycho, Mei, Melissa and Jin are, receiving the report from Nei. Tenka less than B. G greater than, 2 humanoid Shuki. Nei's sad face using her ability, yes, I can't see them right now, but I know I saw 2 more. Melissa. What about Izuku, is he okay? Nei uses her ability, I forgot the name, and finds Izuku battling against Raren, but she saw Izuku tanking a fireball head-on. Nei. He's fighting the 3rd humanoid Shuki right now, but it's strong. Eri started to worry, she tug on Tenka's less than best girl greater than skirt. Eri. Miss Tenka, is Papa going to alright? She looked at Tenka with teary eyes, begging her to help him. Tenka bent down on one knee, patting Eri's head. Tenka less than B. G greater than. Don't worry, your papa is strong, you said so yourself didn't you? Eri nodded. Tenka less than B. G greater than. Then cheer him on, so he can win, stands up and looks at the others, I'll take it from here. Opens a portal and walks through. Tenka walks through the other side and sees Yuki, Kyoka and Hamari vaporizing Shuki. Tenka less than B. G greater than. I won't let you outshine me. Girl. It's impossible to outshine you, my love. Tenka turned to her right to see a storm of shockwaves, fire and lightning. In the middle of that storm, Izuku is manhandling Raren. Izuku. That all you got? I'm getting bored out of my mind right now. Raren. Die you arrogant maggot. Shoots another fireball. Back at the watchtower, Jinna is fussing on the fact she can't see her idols in action. Psycho. Mei and Melissa were also worried that they can't see Izuku. Jinna. This is torture. Lady Kyo and Lady Ten are out there fighting, and I'm stuck here. May. Don't forget, Muscles is taking on the ringleader, and the way we know he's still fighting is from that flaming thunderstorm. Points toward the Izuku vs Raren fight. Nay. It's because the dorms has the sturdiest barrier. Jinna cries in depression. Jinna. I can barely see from so far away, I wanna watch up close. Psycho. Minus the overreactive tantrum, I'm with her on this, I want to see if Zuzu is okay. Nay. If you all put your hands on Nay's shoulder, she'll link with your minds so you can watch the fight. Jinna. Seriously, with stars in her eyes. Melissa. You can do that, Nay. Nay. Yep. Jinna's sad face grabs onto both Nay's shoulders. Omigosh. Miss Okawamura, you're the best. Soon after, Psycho, May, Melissa and Eri put their hands on Nay's shoulders as well, spectating the fight like they're actually there. Jinna. This is awesome. Eri. So cool. Psycho. Impressive. Izuku's paw. Raren summons another lightning bolt but Izuku dodges it. Raren. I'm not done yet. Summons more. Izuku kept dodging them but his body is struggling to keep up. Izuku. Damn it, I've gone way over the time limit with Ultra Cowl, if I don't finish this now I'll be paralyzed for 2 minutes. Danger sense went off but it was too late. Raren came from behind, punching Izuku right in the spine, sending him straight into the wall, coughing blood. Just when it couldn't get any worse, it did. Ultra Cowl deactivated for being on for too long, and Izuku was temporarily paralyzed. Raren was standing over him, grinning with pride. Raren. Persistent pest aren't you, but now this is your end. Charges up a fireball. Izuku was forcing Black Whip between his muscles and bones to move, barely dodging it. He panted, standing up ready to fight. But before he could move, a soft hand tapped his shoulder. Tenka less than B. G greater than. Nice job, Wakura. Izuku. Huh, Tenka. Raren's sad face, surprised, that woman, where'd she come from all of a sudden? Tenka puts her hand on Izuku's shoulder. Tenka less than B. G greater than. Let me tag in, you rest and get your strength back. Izuku looked at Tenka, saying. Izuku. Sure, let me catch my breath, then I'll join you on the dance floor. With that, Izuku sat down. Raren. Take it easy, while my army is closing in on you too. Tenka less than B. G greater than, army. The dust cloud behind Tenka revealed to Raren that the army of Shuki was already decimated. Hearing this Izuku remembered what Raren said before. Izuku. Tenka was his target. Wait, Raren said that he had 2 targets. If Tenka's the first one, does that mean Kyoka is the second target? Tenka created a black hole, but Raren dodges. But part of his arm got torn in the process. Raren. She wounded me. First the boy now her. Watchtower. Thanks to Nay's ability, they are spectating the battle. Nay. Incredible, she's taking on the humanoid. Jinna. Yeah, Lady Ten's talented, she could escape anything thanks to her ability, but she doesn't need to run away. Both commanders came up with a plan to wipe out the horde in no time flat, and thanks to that guy with multiple abilities, Lady Ten is guaranteed to win. Melissa. Glad she got there just in time before Izuku did something reckless. May. Hope Muscles is okay, that new form must have took a toll on him. Psycho. The others are holding their own too. Jinna. Lady Kyo, Lady Ten, you're so awesome. Violently shaking Nay. Melissa. Calm down, stop shaking Nay so hard. Back to Izuku, Tenka and Rairen. Izuku was on top of a rock, waiting for the paralysis to wear off. He was watching Raren closely, timing how long each attack he throws take to hit. Raren. Repulsive brat. Fine, this time I'll simply have to zap you to dust. Summons a barrage of lightning bolts. The blast created a dust cloud. Raren laughed mocking Tenka. Raren. Good luck dodging that. Tenka less than B. G greater than. Don't count me out yet. The dust cloud clears, revealing that Tenka was unharmed. Tenka less than B. G greater than. Did you really think that was over? Opens a portal beneath her feet. Tenka hopped out the other side, punching Raren in the back. But before Raren could realize, he was kicked in the head by a speeding object, launching him several meters away. Raren looked up and saw a creature with lightning surrounding him like clothes. Not to mention its body was covered with weird energy. Izuku. Don't forget, you got 2 dance partners to deal with. Izuku charges full cowl to 45%, FA Jin and gearshift while Tenka sneakily opened a portal behind Raren. Izuku. Synchro activation, Detroit Smash Barrage. Launching forward hitting Raren with a wall of giant fists. The blast shot Raren through the portal, only to come out several feet in the air. But what shocked Raren most was how slow he was falling. Raren. He slowed me down with a touch. Still in the air, Izuku. All yours Tenka. Tenka put her hands together, making a finger gun, pointing at Raren as well as the remaining Shuki. Tenka less than B. G greater than. The perfect position, aim no Matori. Just then, a black hole formed, sucking all the Shuki of the ground into it along with Raren before he was saved by Shikoku. The black hole closed, leaving a beautiful pink feather shower behind. Izuku. That didn't kill him. Which means he escaped. Aside from that, that ability of hers is no joke in terms of power. Kyoka has got her work cut out for her if she wants to be Supreme Commander. Kyoka, Himari and Yuki War Cloud form landed in front of Izuku. At the same time Ochako, Momo, Kyoka, Sahara, Shushu, Yakiho and Tenka joined the group. Closing parenthesis. Ochako. Deku-kun, are you okay? Izuku had blood dripping down his arms, his spine was cracked and he had ash burns on him. But still cracked a smile. Izuku. Never better, it's been a long time since I fought someone who can tank my attacks. Cough blood, he got me good though. Yuki War Cloud, dude, your powers are op, I knew you were strong, but that strong. Izuku. Hee, but enough about me, is everyone okay? Looks around to see for injuries. Momo. You're the one who needs medical attention, let's get you back inside. Rushed to his side trying to lift him up. Times KIP. Inside the dorms. Kyoka. The Shuki horde has been exterminated, but according to Ne, there were 2 more generals present. Izuku. Yet they vanished without a trace, I've searched every nook and cranny but found nothing. Clenches his fists. Shushu. Maybe they got squashed by the big blast. Tenka less than B. G greater than. I doubt it, they were very peculiar. Ne had her head down in shame while Eri was comforting her. Ne. I'm sorry, everyone, even with foresight, I failed to detect the enemy quick enough. Izuku walked up to Ne, crouched down and head patted Ne. Ne saw that despite having the most injuries, he was still smiling. Izuku. You did nothing wrong Ne, it happens to the best of us, they probably had some sort of cloaking ability, besides you detected them before they attacked, meaning you saved us from a potential ambush. Patting Ne's head, Ne. But you're still hurt. Trying not to cry, Izuku hugged Ne, comforting her. He steps back and stand up. Izuku. It's going to take a lot more than a few bruises to keep me down, besides everyone else is safe thanks to you, so cheer up, you are my superior after all right. Ne wiped her tears away started smiling again. Ne. Right. Showing of her smile. Tenka less than B. G greater than. I have to say, you and the little slave stole the show. Yuki. You're too modest, if any you and Izuku stole the show. Out of nowhere, Jinna came running towards Izuku with a marker and board. Jinna. Mr. Izuku. I saw your performance out there, now I know that boys can be talented sometimes too, if ya don't mind can I have your autograph? Izuku. Me. Tenka less than B. G greater than. C. You got a fan. Yuki. Hey. Himari. Hey, Izuku, about earlier, thanks for saving me. Izuku. You don't need to thank me, it's what I do. During all this Himari kept her eyes on Izuku, remembering how he saved her and the kiss they shared. She began to blush from the memory, a blush that didn't go unnoticed by Ochako, Melissa, Mei, Kyoka, Saiko and Momo. They initially had the same thought. Ochako, Melissa, Mei, Momo, Kyoka, Saiko. She likes Deku-kun, Izu, Muscles, Zuzu, Mosshead, Izuku too. Mentally sighing. They looked at each other and nodded. Izuku looked around and saw Yakiho on the couch, suggesting Himari to go talk to her. Times KIP. Night time, overworld. It was a thundering with little rain. Izuku was in his vigilante suit, on patrol. He snuck away after the 6th unit left. Right now he is swinging around using Black Whip. While swinging, danger sense went off. He landed on a rooftop and looked around until he saw a beautiful woman with glasses walk out of a video game store. She walked down the alley only to get cornered by the same gang members he took down weeks ago. Deku. They just never learn. Jumps in to help. 5 minutes before. Get away from me creeps. Activates her ability. Gang leader F sad face activated her nullify ability. Sorry. No power for you. Gang leader M sad face metal spikes come out of his hands. Our boss is paying us good money to bring him women with peach abilities, so either come quietly or. Just then a shriek broke out as a male and female gang member were pulled into the shadows. Gang henchman male. Bosses, is it him? Looking around frantically. Just then a fog came out of nowhere, obscuring everyone's vision. One by one a gang member was taken down, only indication was screams. One henchman used a wind ability to clear the fog. Everyone, and mean everyone including the girl with glasses, looked up and saw something out of a rated R horror movie. Deku had black whip tendrils around him, each holding an unconscious gang member. He landed down in front of them. Deku. You guys don't ever learn. Before they could react, Deku speedblitz everyone except for the male and female gang leaders. Give me name suggestions for the GANGLEADERS. Please. The girl with glasses started putting the dots together. Male, wears a scary suit, has multiple abilities, it's him, the one from the news, he's actually real. Gang leader M, not this time. Runs towards Deku throwing his fist covered in metal spikes. Gang leader F, this is payback. Runs towards Deku with energy surrounding her fist. Deku caught both of them, breaking their hands. The two screamed out in pain but Deku covered their mouths with black whip. He took them the top of a building, dangling them over the edge. Deku. Tell, who gave you new powers and where to find them, or I'll break the other arm. Deku wrapped black whip around both the gang leaders' arms, applying more and more pressure. Before long, they confessed. Gang leader M, okay, we'll talk. Pressure lowers. Some guy with a fat scientist came to us. Said that they could give us powers that the peaches couldn't. Gang leader F, he told us he wanted crates of peaches from Mato, women with strong peach abilities, as well as male members from our gang for research. He paid us with loads of cash and new powers that we didn't bother. Why? Deku. Where are they? Starts increasing the pressure again. Gang leader M, we don't know. He somehow finds us. Gang leader F, he comes and goes through a portal. He'd send our boss a location and tells us to wait there. Deku. Who's your boss? Where can I find him? But before he could get any more answers, the gang leaders fell unconscious due to the pain. Deku. Damn it. Goes back down, creating more tendrils to grab the other unconscious members. Deku was about to drop them off to the cops before a voice called out to him. Wait. Deku turned around to see the girl he saved. She was beautiful, had a nice body, wore glasses and had identical hair to Himari and Yakiho. Maya. Thanks for saving me, I'm Maya. Maya Azuma, you're Deku right? Her introduction took Izuku by surprise. Izuku. Azuma, is she related to Himari and Yakiho? Deku. That's one of the names I go by, and no problem Miss Azuma, I'm glad you wasn't hurt. About leave. Maya. Why do you do what you do? Deku stopped in his tracks but didn't turn around. Maya. When I heard on the news that there was a male with multiple powers, risking his life to save people, I thought it was all for show, but now that I've seen you in action, I just have to know. Izuku was silent for a while. He originally went on patrol to find Aoba but now he didn't know. Deku. Cause no one else will. Used smokescreen and disappeared. Maya was left in the alley, wondering who her hero was. She looked to the sky. Maya. I hope I see you again. Meanwhile in another location, a familiar fat scientist was working on 5 large tubes, each with something or someone inside them. The scientist stepped back and admired his work. Soon, we will have one for all in our grasp. You 5 will ensure that. Hehehehehehe. HAHAHAHAHAH. MHA World. Before the Clash Coliseum. Zen Shigaraki aka All for One was fighting against Izuku Midoriya. The battle caused natural disasters to spread like wildfire. But Izuku, the Vestiges and Tamura aka Tenko defeated him. AFO. This can't be how it ends. Before everything fades to black. Time passes as Zen opened his eyes, looking around to see Japan, but not his Japan. AFO. Where am I? He looked around and saw his reflection. Zen. My face, it's back to normal. Zen looked around and saw people with powers expect it was only females. The males had none. He saw the technology was primitive compared to the ones he's seen before. He walked around until a drunk woman came up to him. Drunk girl. Hey hick, handsome, mind hick giving me a hick good time. She touched Zen's chest, swirling her fingers around. AFO sensed she had a ability, smirking, he played along. Zen. Why of course, but not here, let's take this somewhere private, leading the drunk girl towards an abandoned building. Once inside, the drunk girl tried to leap onto AFO, only to get grabbed by the head. Zen tried stealing her ability, only to find out that it was far more difficult to steal it. After 30 minutes, he finally stole her peach ability, which was Reality Shift. Reality Shift has a limit of 4 things that can be created from the user's imagination. However, the downside is that if all 4 are used in the same day, it would no longer work and the constructs aren't perfect. Later, AFO went to an isolated location in a forest, far away from the city. He used all 4 wishes to create a hideout lab, as well as bring back some old pawns. Grinning, he walked inside. Times KIP. Mato before Yuki and Izuku meet Kyoka. Zen was walking around in Mato, admiring its existence. He has seen and taken a dozen of Mato peaches, came across some Shuki, easily destroying them with little effort. Zen. Such promise. These creatures lack the strength but excel in numbers. Also, before he could finish speak, Search detected something familiar. Zen rushed in the direction Search was giving him. And when he got close, he hid behind a large rock to avoid detection. AFO peeked around to see the one thing that foiled all his plans. Izuku fucking Midoriya. Zen. Even in a new life, you continue to be a thorn in my side. But he sensed something odd. Instead of the vestiges, Izuku had 2 demonic figures around him, both similar to Izuku in terms of looks. But the aura they emit is far from heroic. AFO. How interesting. Uses a liquid portal to return back to the lab. Back at the lab, a notorious doctor was working on 2 corpses that were attached to a giant vat of liquid energy, drained from the peaches. Garaki. These peaches are marvelous. Despite only able to give the females power, their essence can be extracted, and with proper knowledge about human genetics, they can be given to anyone. Maniacally laughing as AFO steps out of the portal. Zen. Doctor, I have a gift for you. Tosses a sack filled with Mato peaches. Garaki. Thank you, master. Grabs the sack and rushes to a glass dome holding more peaches. AFO walks towards the 2 corpses, revealing them to be Muscular and Spinner. The only 2 out of the 4 things that didn't go exactly to plan. AFO. How's our progress? Garaki. Expect for these 2, I can successfully create near-high Nomus with both peach abilities and quirks. The only problem is that they can only have 2 of each. However, once these 2 are done, Nomus of all types will be irrelevant. I just need a test subject to work with. AFO. I'll handle that. With that, he left. Time passed. Zen brought men and women with and without abilities to Garaki. Some couldn't handle the process, and ended up dead. Others were a success but could only tolerate it for so long. So Zen Shigaraki decided to go alley hunting. One night he overheard an opportunity he couldn't deny. Ritsudo Takama equals gang leader M. Ritsudo. I'm telling you, boss, that had powers, he took most of our guys out instantly. Kurosaki Furin equals gang leader F. Kurosaki. It's true, he stopped us from capturing the 2 DDF members you wanted. Both gang leaders were complaining that a woman in a cloak and mask. You expect me to believe that a man has multiple abilities? That's the best excuse you could come up with. Pissed off. AFO. Don't be so hard on them, they were untrained sheep lead to a slaughter. AFO walks out of the shadows. Everyone there took their guns out as well as had their peach abilities ready. AFO lift his hand in front of them. AFO. Now that's not nice. Let me cut the tension. Uses air cannon along with radio wave causing everyone to be pushed back while disabling their weapons. The gang leaders, members and the hooded woman were stunned by this. A man possessing a power, impossible. AFO. I believe we share a common enemy, I can help you out with that, all you need to do is serve me. Who are you? AFO took his hat off and bowed a little. AFO. Call me, Demon Lord. Times KIP. Thunder God's base after Raren ambush. Shikoku was on a phone from the victim she killed, scrolling through it. Loud footsteps could be heard behind her. Shikoku. Glad to see you're fully recovered, Raren. That was a close call. Good thing you have me, huh? Raren faced away from Shikoku. Raren. I could have kept fighting after that. Punches the ground in anger. Shikoku. The battle was lost when you let them raise your Shuki army to the ground. Raren. TCH. Shikoku. Let's review, shall we? First, in order to evaluate the enemy's capabilities, I fought the 3rd unit. It was easy, but their commander wasn't with them at the time. So the purpose of this recent endeavor was to experience a commander's strength, but they blew my expectations. Not to mention that boy with the green hair, he was able to damage you the most out of everyone as well as demolished half of the army in mere seconds. Raren gritted his teeth, remembering how Izuku kicked his ass. Shikoku. Therefore, your plan to make use of our current resources and launch a full-scale attack on the DDF is trash. Raren. Wait a second. They may be tough for a bunch of pests, but they can be beaten. You agree with me, right, Joryu? Joryu. Shikoku. Said it instantly. Raren's pride was shattered. Shikoku. Now we'll go with my plan. We'll attack once we've gathered all 8 people. Until then we operate from the shadows. Raren. The 8 of us will be together soon, all right. Punches his fist into the ground, but do not call US people, don't compare US to those inferior humans. Now that's rude to insult your latest business partner. All 3 Thunder Gods turned around, surprised that someone found their base. When they looked at the intruder, they saw a man in a suit with white hair and red eyes, but the aura he released wasn't human. Raren and Joryu readied their powers, while Shikoku marveled at the man before her. Shikoku. Such intense pressure, similar to that boy but different. Raren. You dare trespass a god's home, you'll pay with your life. Rushes at AFO. AFO raised his hand, activating air cannon, rivet stab, radio wave and impact recoil. As he caught Raren's fist, he sent him flying into the wall. Zen looked toward Shikoku and Joryu. AFO. Let's try that again. Call me the Demon Lord. From the recent event of your ambush, we share a common enemy. The boy with green hair has been a problem in my plans for so long. I propose an alliance, you scratch my back and I scratch yours. Shikoku. And exactly what do you offer for this alliance? Joryu. Shikoku. What are you? Shikoku raised her hand in front of Joryu. Shikoku. Well, AFO smirk. As he snapped his fingers, a portal of black liquid appeared, revealing 3 creatures never seen before. AFO. For your next attack, send these 3 with you, they'll keep the boy busy for a while. Shikoku walked up to Zen Shigaraki and extended her hand out to him. Shikoku. Welcome to show, Demon Lord. AFO shook Shikoku's hand, thus creating an alliance that could bring about the apocalypse. Things just got crazy. To be continued. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and make sure to like and please hype this video. Now we will see you in the next video.